Oh, that was so dramatic. Hey, boys and girls, Saturday Night at the Atheist, the Santa version.
My self-esteem went up like 5.6% just by listening to that music.
Right.
Hey guys, I just got a notification that Answers in Atheism is live, so I'm going to have to bail out now.
Yeah, I'm going to bail too. I'm going to go watch that.
Yeah, I'm going to go, yeah.
Those are great guys on that show. Great guys.
I love those guys.
Yeah.
Especially that host, he's just number one in my book. Yep. Every day I wake up, he's the first guy I think about.
It's about par for the course.
Yep, par for the course. So
sitting on the toilet there.
Yeah. Otangelo did us all a favor, and he condensed his entire blog and all of his arguments into 2 frames up here that he put this out on JStream, I think, this morning. And this explains everything about Otangelo that you need to know. So we don't need to talk to Otangelo anymore. We can just refer to this encyclopedic argument for intelligent design that Otangelo himself seems to have found somewhere, or I don't know where this came from, but it's got a little CedricStudio.com. I don't know.
What is that?
I'm not sure. I wonder if that's a creationist site or something. Cedric Studio.
Maybe it's the code for something.
It could be Cedric. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah. And let's see. I just wanted to make a couple of comments about what the fuck happened on Gur streams last night. But I don't know. Gur. Just a personal note. If you lock yourself in a hot box with a bunch of steaming shit for 6 hours, and then you come and sit next to me on the bus, I may make a mistake about who you are. And that's all I want to say about that, about Gur. And Ronnie, the Raging Atheist, a couple times last night, he said, guys, I'm real. And that is the one thing about him that I've always liked. And I'm not going to pick on that guy. And I'm not going to allow anybody else to pick on that guy, because he's flawed, and he admits it all the time. He admits when he's wrong. He tries to reconcile. Of course, then he goes off in another direction, and he does exactly what you would expect somebody with the name The Raging Atheist to do. And then everybody's like all down on him and stuff. And he was making a couple of points about privacy and what we do to each other on these YouTube streams. Like, I've got a Facebook page, and on that Facebook page, I have given enough hints that anybody can put together my personal name, and they could go on and they could go after my sister or my sons or my daughter-in-law or anybody else. Would that be okay just because I have a public Facebook page? I
absolutely not. Exactly.
I don't think so. And it's like, we're here. Yeah, we're here allowing a certain exposure, to the world.
Yeah.
And we don't expect people to go dig out our personal information and find out and start to make connections just because we made it public, and it's not. Yeah. But of course, we've done a little bit of that ourselves. We did it with what the hell is his name? I forget his name. What is his name? The crazy guy who built rockets, and he's a quantum scientist. And
Joel.
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 Yeah, we did it with Joel. Yeah. Yeah, I did a little bit of that with Joel. I did it with Maddox.
Is that his handle?
Yeah, SFB mod and stuff. And I probably shouldn't have done that, but I didn't go after his kids.
Real quick, can we just comment on how satirical, but also how funny Icarus's second to last comment is?
Double rainbow?
No, I said second to last, Speed.
Oh, I don't know what you mean by that. Yo.
A waterfall needs a waterfaller. What is your response?
So imaginative.
Oh shit! I gotta let him in tonight. Anyway,
so you're right, Speed. Like you said, it's it's one thing to if you're talking about a person that you're having communication with or whatever on here, but once you brought anybody else in, any other member of their family, whether it's sister, brother, aunt, uncle, especially children. Now you've crossed the line. You've now.
Oh God, are we talking about that?
So. Not much. We're not talking
just
about
a little
it
bit. We're just mentioning it. That's all.
Like
that was a shit show at the end.
Yeah.
Midnight. You went in there, and you're a young man who's never had children, and you went in there and you talked to a parent, and we were talking backstage when a child is born, and you're a present father or mother, something happens to you biologically. And I was comparing it to Mary's room. Like Mary is a neuroscientist that was raised in a black and white room, never saw the color red, but knew every fact there was to know about how humans process color and vision, right? And then Mary is let out of the room, and for the first time she sees the red apple. And so Mary learns something new when she gets out of the room. I swear to Christ, if any of you are involved in having children, you will learn something new about your emotional landscape that you never knew before. And I don't give a fuck how much empathy you youngsters have. Until that moment, you're not going to understand what the hell we're talking about. So don't fuck with people's kids. It'll get you hurt. It'll get you punched back. Whatever form that punch takes, people will hit you. They will attack you. They will freak out on you.
Speed, I have no energy to argue the point. You're right. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Midnight.
And Thorne here, who says all those personal attacks are just uninteresting to me.
Yeah, he was the only one that sat there last night and just absolutely maintained a moral supremacy to everyone else.
Yep.
And that was pretty cool, there, Jason.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And did he do it by just keeping his mouth
shit on my eggs?
Keep it as mouth. Oh my God, Midnight! You're about to have children? Are you
eggs? You hatching?
Are you hatching eggs?
No, I'm making an omelet. But you know what, Speed? I hope I become a parent.
No, that's not the way to treat your little eggs. You don't make an omelet out of them.
I hope I become a parent.
As much as we want to someday.
We hope you do too, Midnight. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, Brainbug. Hey.
Hey, Brainbug.
How's it going, people?
You know what I've been saying to myself?
Yeah.
There is not enough brain bug on this channel.
Not enough Brainbug.
Why are you called Brainbug anyway?
So I know a lot about bugs.
Yeah.
Well, right,
yeah. But
aren't there bugs that burrow their way inside your brain?
Okay. Yeah. Midnight, go look it up on Google.
Wasn't there a brain bug on Starship Troopers?
There was.
That's what I figured the reference was.
Brain bug can be a really smart bug, like on Starship Troopers. It can be a bug that burrows into your brain, like
Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Did you see the Earwig episode, or was that Twilight Zone, or was that the other companion thing whose name I can remember? There was another series.
Hey, Christopher.
The Outer Limits.
Outer Limits, right? Yeah, mm-hmm. It was one of those. They had the earwig, and this guy put up with for a half an hour this thing burrowing through his skull, And then he realized that it had laid eggs in the middle of his brain. And then the show ended. It was horrible. But not that kind of brain bug.
What a way to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'd like to have CRISPR come in tonight if he's available, but like or just sometime in general.
He's never available. Never mind. Yeah. I just see his comment.
Huh? What? Oh.
Hold on. Put that back on. Put that back up. Speed.
Up and down and up and down.
The CRISPR one.
Yeah, or
Hello.
I guess I was.
You know what? Forget it. Yeah, I hope Midnight becomes a parrot instead of transparent like now. God damn.
We love our albino
jokes.
Wonder how much CRISPR knows about all the stuff about phenotypic plasticity that creationists sometimes go on about.
Oh my God, it's not as plastic as they like to think. I think they think a tiger can become a lion or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
Phenotypic plasticity.
Hey, Dr. Dan.
That sounds interesting.
I mean, we're talking different alleles that can even produce fertile offspring between a tiger and a lion. Do they really think that it's
lions and tigers and tigers? Oh my! Wait, I fucked that up.
That it stretches that far? Does any genome stretch that far enough to span the difference between a tiger and a lion? I don't think so.
No. Nope. And they think it does. They think epigenetics solves all of their heterozygosity problems or something.
Their refuge in that is going to get smaller and smaller the more species we map. We're mapping them faster and faster all the time. The little window is going to get smaller and smaller.
Yeah. How are we doing with bugs, mapping genomes and bugs?
Not well. They're favoring mammals. They're mapping. I know they've mapped a lot of reptiles here lately in the last couple of years. So that's been interesting.
I think the insects are really going to be interesting as far as because we know so much about Drosophila and embryology. And if we can start to look across all of the insects and start to look at more bugs, and morphogenesis.
Think about the stability of. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm kind of confused by Dr. Dan's comment because I thought phenotypic plasticity wasn't genetic. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Phenotype that you can select for it has genetic. I
thought it was environmental.
Well, that's kind of along the lines of mutation is something that can be selected for. High rates of mutation under certain conditions can be selected for. But
anyway, I was going to say that insect gene groups have been stable in their environments for a lot longer than tetrapods. So I think we might see some more like archaic gene map. Like when they map it, it looks more primitive.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping that we find.
Yep,
and maybe some more primitive gene transfer methodology because there was a new. What was it? A new little tiny beetle the species is completely female. I was just talking about this the other day on one of my streams. But
G matrix, P matrix comparisons.
Wait,
I wonder what those are.
Can we take a second to recognize this? Do we know you?
Oh.
Do we actually know you?
Hello.
Oh no, this is somebody else. This is do thou know.
Oh,
she's the same person.
Is it Michael Myers? It looks like Michael Myers.
Hello?
Yep.
I was wondering who the hell this person is.
Now?
Let him talk.
Hard to see from the TV. I'm looking at the TV, not my phone, like a dumbass. No, it's pronounced "Doth thou knoweth I."
Oh,
doth thou knoweth I?
Doth thou know? Okay, I got that one wrong, but I got "Do you know me" right?
Yeah,
so I get some points for that. But
yeah, you get 100 points for that.
I needed the points.
Yeah, not a lot of people for some reason are capable of understanding that. But
yeah.
So what's today's topic?
I don't know. Well, we're just talking about the insect genome, and I found something called Insect Base. Is this on your radar there, Brainbug? Let's see.
I think I've seen this site before. Yeah.
How much is there a place What do they have? Data
Oh, it's that-
collaboration. Oh, they got a few of them. So there's enough to start looking, you know?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Is it so the Diptera is probably a lot of Drosophila in there. That's why that area is so big. Because we've been working with mapping their genes, I think, longer than we have even human genes.
Yeah. Yeah, Drosophila, we're doing a really good job. So,
And
80% of all animal species are arthropods.
yeah. So I don't know,
put
as
a
far as
link in the side chat too there to that I was talking about with the beetles that are beetle mites, I guess they are that reproduce asexually. They're pretty interesting. They started looking into their genes.
Crisp is asking you to scroll back up, I think. Speed.
Scott, can you handle that? I'm working on putting the link to the paper that Brainbug gave us in the description.
Sure. Now, what are we supposed to be looking at?
That little pie chart down there, I think, is representing which clades that we have the genes mapped for.
Or he may mean scroll back up on that web page.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't control that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm helpless.
we're back
I'm out
up.
of control.
You are out of control.
Insect base.
Yeah. Maybe you just wanted to see the title or whatever.
Yeah, I linked it in the description. I'm just about to save, so that link is available. But yeah, that's what came up on a Google search for databases for insects.
12 million sequences. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I wonder how they're doing them. I guess they'd have to be doing them all electronically, right? Like having a computer sequence everything.
Electron
I think
microscope.
we're going to have to give CRISPR his money back, Speed. He's a little dissatisfied.
Why? What did we do wrong? Oh, left hand again.
Something about left-handed.
Yeah. Well, you if that's your only problem with bad science,
We're going to have to take it back to the kitchen, and he'll probably want to speak to the manager.
you probably want to speak to the manager, right? Yeah. Anyway, people can't get it right. Like when people say turn left, I always confuse it with turn right. I don't know why.
You got a 50-50 chance of getting it right.
Yeah, which is good enough
Turn
for
right
me. I
and
think.
left.
Yeah, I've done that.
Hey, maybe we should start a new YouTube channel and do YouTube Karens. How about that?
YouTube what?
YouTube Karens. You know they.
Oh
have
yeah.
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 There's a few of those out there already.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Well,
yeah.
I'm not sure about YouTube Karens though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can find a lot of stuff there. But I don't know. So after I wanted to go on Gerstreams last night, and I kept checking back and forth, and by the end of the night, I had this resolve to take my channel down and burn it.
What?
Wow, that's extreme.
Yeah. And then this morning, I woke up and I said, you know what? I'm taking a couple weeks off from the weather report. And then I slept on it and talked to Peter on it. And I don't know what I'm going to do, but anyway, it had an effect on me last night. It was like if you took all of the things that trigger me and you put them all into the same stream. That's what happened on Gerstreams last night. So I don't know.
Oh,
It just blew me away.
Yeah, actually, I can see that. As a matter of fact, yeah.
So I've been looking at rocks under my microscope.
Cool.
Yeah.
are you trying to entice Orgay to come in here?
Yeah, now that I got you, I'll entice Oregon. No, what I did is I've got a big 4-pound hammer outside, and I have a bunch of granite laying around that I've collected, here and there, and limestone, and I started smacking them and taking the broken edges in and putting them under the microscope fresh. And I took a piece of granite, and I was just absolutely amazed at these little sheets of mica and some needle-like crystals, which I don't think are quartz. and then some beautiful quartz crystals, and just the landscape that I'm looking at was so rich and varied that it just kind of I don't know. I noted it. It was wonderful. So that was pretty cool.
I think getting your bugs out, Speed. Well, we have brain bug here in your microscope.
Well, how about those two beetles that were on my wall? I think they're pretty common.
There you go. Yeah.
I think they're in the fridge. I could go and see how they're doing. I don't know. Hang on a second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. Sure you will. Sure
Speed,
you will.
yeah.
Can I ask you guys a relevant question real quick?
Sure.
Is hypnosis real? Like, I've been not studying, I guess, just taking pieces from psychology videos, like Daniel Kahneman talking about the influence of words, and Sam Harris on free will, and then all the kinds of other stuff that might influence the person's core beliefs. But what really is hypnosis, and is it real? Like, is it anything like the snap my fingers and if I tell you you're a chicken, you're a chicken? Like, what's the real deal with that?
That's a good question.
Wouldn't it be? It's kind of subjective, isn't it? Some people are more susceptible to those mental manipulation techniques than other people are.
Yeah,
I've heard
some
it's
people
like an urge. Even with people who do what they're told, it's an urge to please.
Yeah,
and
it's
an urge to go along with the group who wants you to behave like a chicken.
It's the same thing as the voodoo zombie stuff.
Yep.
Huh.
But I haven't studied it in depth.
Well, there's some agents, toxic agents used in the zombie stuff, though, isn't there?
Yes.
What about devil?
There can be, but the only thing important is that the person that the target believes it.
Oh, so hallucinogenics are required.
That can be.
It was the poison from like a puffer fish, right? That they used in the old Haitian voodoo ritual.
Yeah, that was to convince the person they died.
Yeah, it made you paralyzed, and you were like your breathing was so shallow that you looked like you were dead, right?
Yeah.
But then it was then when you were woke up, the witch doctor Voden, they had to convince you that you were dead and come back as a zombie under their control. So kind of clever.
Yeah. I mean,
So they have puffer fish in the Caribbean?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I thought that was like the fish that they had in Japan that would kill you if the
No, they're just the ones dumb enough to eat it.
Oh, okay. All right.
I've snorkeled and seen puffer fish off of the Florida coast, so yeah.
I was hypnotized I don't know, about 4 or 5 times by psychologists, and once to quit smoking. That was my first experience with it. And the whole time I was being hypnotized, I was saying, "Oh, when am I going to get hypnotized?" It's like it didn't feel like anything was happening. Well, then the first time I was about 30 years old. It was right before my sons were born, about a week before they were born, and they hypnotized me to quit smoking. And I smoked like 4 or 5 packs a day at that time. And when I left his office, I couldn't even get in the elevator. My legs were rubber. I was so relaxed. I didn't know what was going on. I had a hell of a time getting home. And then for 1 week, I didn't smoke. And I went through pure nicotine withdrawal. I didn't have any smoke aids. And I had to send my wife to live with, to go stay with a friend, because I was so volatile. I was screaming at her. And we lived on an estate. We rented a little cabin on an estate, and they had cut down an oak tree, and I took an axe and I hacked that oak tree to pieces. But the whole week, it was like there was this barrier between me and smoking, where I could not smoke. Like it was like my mind never went to, "Oh, I'm really suffering in need of nicotine. I could just have a cigarette," but I never made that connection. So something happened to me that was pretty profound. And as far as you wake up and think you're a chicken stuff, I think that might be bullshit. But the other experience that they told me, okay, when I say a certain word, you're going to lift your arm. And I lifted my arm, but it was like I wasn't doing it. It was sort of but I was kind of doing it. I was allowing it to happen. I could stop it from happening,
Okay,
but
yeah.
it was really weird. So obviously they had relaxed me to the point where I had a different brain state, where they got into an area that I wasn't that normally you're not in, right? And they
You're
can
not
make
defensive,
suggestions.
right?
What was not defensive, just open, and they can make suggestions that really are really powerful. And they did a little bit of regression, and the regression was amazing because
What's regression, man?
Going back to pre-verbal memories of me, being an infant crawling around on the floor.
Oh.
And I had some memories that were that I kind of later verified a little bit that, they seemed like that's what was going on at the time. And the, the things I saw, managed to find a photograph. I don't know how much of it is like, when you remember things, you tend to augment those memories. But something happened to me, and it put me in a state where I could, go way back. But of course, I've always had memories back to 1 year old or less. So
that's crazy, because I can't remember anything beyond, below 2001.
Yeah, that's what my sons told me too. They had a real mild upbringing compared to mine, and they have hardly any memories of their childhood. And we spend a fortune entertaining those little fuckers, and they don't remember 90% of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, but can I ask you a question about what you mentioned in your story here? The power of suggestion, right? So, I'm looking at suggestion, and I think that language is processed unconsciously, right? We don't intentionally choose to understand.
Right.
So that made me think of something like, what if we could see the power of this through some sort of illusory feedback or illusion feedback of some sort, like are you guys familiar with the spinning dancer illusion GIF on Wikipedia, where it's just going left and right, but your brain can perceive it going counterclockwise?
Oh yeah, what do they call that? By something. Oh god, I always forget the by. You could switch from one vision to another, like the vase and the lady, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Speed, kill and freeze as many of these as you can, please.
Oh, they're bastards.
Yeah, these are an invasive species that are replacing our native shield bugs. Kind of pushing them into the margins. They've spread like crazy fast over the last decade. So
good luck with that.
Everybody look at that. Especially take note of the yellow part on the end there, because our native ones don't have that. The triangle part above that, they're coming back from like what looks like the shoulders of the cape. If we're a person, that triangle there is a lot longer and goes all the way to the end on the native ones.
Are those the ones that those the ones that stink when you squish them? Yeah.
That's
what I thought. Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. Brain bug knows all the invasive species too.
That's very invasive species is kind of important topic to me. It's a passion of mine to try to make people aware of what is actually native and what is invasive. And I collect I collect the mantis, the invasive Chinese mantises. When I find their oothekas on the stems and stuff, I just collect them. You can collect them and freeze them or drown them or burn them or whatever, but the egg cases, but they're very distinct looking. They look like a foam ball on the like just on the stuck on a stick. So keep your
maybe they need to renew the draft, like they had during the Vietnam War, except draft people into a service where they go and they hunt down and destroy invasive species.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like you could have the special elite forces, go down and hunt for Burmese python or whatever. And then, other people can go for the bugs.
What are you doing about the worst invasive species of all, though?
Humans.
Yeah. Let's see. I got one of those. What do they call it? Vasectomies back in the 2000 aughts.
I just got one last year.
So, Brian, what are the two species that we're talking about? Do you can you put them in private chat or public chat or whatever?
So this here, like I got a graphic that kind of demonstrates. Let me see.
Okay, little black sugar ants smell like lemon cleaner when you squish them. Well, that's a good thing. You got to squish a lot of them, man. Save you a trip to Walmart.
No, don't kill the ants around your house.
Don't?
Don't. If you have ants, you don't have termites.
Oh.
They do not like each other.
Okay.
Just don't leave food around for them to get inside.
Yeah, that's a little difficult.
These are the squash bug is the one that's native that around here that they're being kind of marginalized by these, but you see that they're more elongated abdomen, and this triangle doesn't reach down nearly as far as this one does.
Yep.
And this part's dark, but all the ones I've seen, the one that you just showed me, and like the one in this picture, this area is more of an orange than orange or yellow than it looks here. I think that might be because this is a dead specimen. I'm not sure though, but on our native species, it's always darker in that area.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so, I got. There's a perfect picture of them down a little bit. Where is it here? Where did I click on? There was the one with more yellow or brighter, and I'm looking. Our photos almost match. Might have been.
They're called. Generally, they're called brown stink bugs, but they also go by this brown marmorated stink bugs. The brown stink bug is descriptive enough to differentiate.
And those are the invasive ones. Right?
These are the invasive ones, yes.
Yeah, and then the dark. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was doing the weather report, and I looked over on my ceiling, and I thought it was a wasp, and it was this guy. And then I looked back again, and there were two of them.
You can put your guy back up.
Yeah, so I stuffed them both in. And then let's see here. I got one upside down. If I can move over a little bit.
Is this so? This is both the ones that you had were this species.
Yeah, they're both the same, and they were together.
Check out the mouths that these things have. This is just a mouth that's very distinct to true bugs, and stink bugs, you can really see the most basal forms of it, because in assassin bugs it becomes a proboscis for feeding on other invertebrates, or actually feeding on blood from tetrapods as well. But in other true bugs, it's used for sucking sap out of trees, for collecting nectar like bees do. A lot of variety, but it's this very distinct needle-like. It almost looks like a jointed finger but it's completely hollow, and they stick it into whatever that they're feeding on. It's very distinct, and it's also something you see within cicadas.
What are those hundreds of little spheres on the bottom of him?
You're gonna have to. Can you show me them?
Okay, they're you can see them on. They're little black spheres all over the bottom of this thing.
I really don't know.
What in the hell are those?
Anybody got any ideas? I've never seen that before.
Put them back over there.
They're
all over the place.
Are they pox? Because they kind of.
No, they're black spheres. If I look at it stereo, let me turn the exposure time up here a little bit.
You can see them pretty good right there. Yeah.
If it's something's eggs or something
that's what I'm worried about. It's like, what the hell are those? That's on the bottom of his head, and they're spherical and they're shiny. And they're black, and they're stuck all over the bottom of this insect.
They do kind of like eggs, though, don't they?
They do look like eggs.
Yeah.
That isn't their eggs, is it?
No, they wouldn't have their eggs all over their face like that. But
I
it
know.
could be like I would say maybe like a dipteran laying its eggs on there, so when the maggots hatch, they have something to eat.
So, Speed, this is you magnifying it to where we can see the eggs.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
You
I
got
really like it when you and Brainbug get together on this bug stuff.
Look at those compound eyes.
Yeah, those are pretty incredible.
Each one is a tiny little lens that has.
No, if I switch to my 2x lens, we could double everything. But it's kind of a pain in the ass. Takes about a minute to.
Can you all see the proboscis? It's going from the top left to the bottom right. It's that long thing. That's its mouth.
Okay.
On the end of that stem there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the benefits of not breathing through your mouth and nose makes it a lot easier to specialize it for feeding because they got spiracles, so they don't have to worry about breathing through it. They can have it just basically a syringe on their face, stick into whatever they want to consume.
Can anybody else hear the coyotes back in the background? I don't know.
I don't hear any coyotes.
Oh my God, they're going crazy out there.
Did the new guy leave?
Holy shit!
Oh yeah.
We weren't done talking about hypnosis yet.
Yeah, well, sorry. We get bugs pulled up, and me and Speed kind of derail everything.
Yeah,
we got to keep our host happy, Brainbug. So that's So that's okay.
That keeps things going.
Yep, we like it.
Oh, my camera is rotated, so it's really hard for me to get my directions down. But let's see if I can pull. And the focus on this microscope is stiffer than the pivot. So every time I try to focus, it moves it a little bit. I hate that. Okay, so now we're looking at that proboscis. So that's that thing folded back. So he folds that out.
Yeah, and that's what he would. This guy would eat. It eats trees or plant sap, so it's going to stick its proboscis in your outside. It's going to stick it into the native plants that really are going to be ravaged by because there's no natural predators in the environment for them, so they just proliferate and consume all the foliage.
Yeah, I would have to nail him down to the clay a little bit in order to tease that apart because it's pretty tiny. You can see the size of basically my instrument. I don't know if I put it. Yeah, my instrument's pretty big. So anyway, cool.
Yeah.
All right. I should have recorded that. Damn it, I didn't record that.
It'll be recorded on YouTube, right?
Oh yeah, I guess it is recorded on YouTube, but not as well as the recording that I get.
Yeah, I'd be wouldn't be as clear. True.
Yeah. Yep. And I have boxes of bugs in the fridge yet that are all nice and fresh, and they should be pliable when they unthaw. And we love pliable bugs.
And Dr. Josh is going to server mute us all. Did you see that?
He's going to.
Yep, he's going to server mute us. Yep.
Oh,
we kind of have it coming though. We're just out here being atheists, not answering his questions. I've been just dodging every question he throws out there in the chat. I don't want to engage with that.
Yep, they're too circumspect questions. I mean, they're brilliant. Yeah.
I feel like if I answer them, he's going to throw my entire worldview into question, and it's going to blow my mind.
Completely incoherent. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I still don't get sin. It seems weird to say God knew everything, then chose the universe to be the way it was, and then claims in some sense you can still miss what he created.
Yeah, the idea is you create a world, and then you stand back and let some elements of that world do what they're going to do. Like, okay, if I create a model in RNA world, and I don't know what my model is going to do. I mean, I couldn't predict which way it's going to go, right? So it's almost like it's almost like omniscient, but you choose to be blind in certain areas. Like he chose to create this human race and give them free will, and then he watched them like a stern parent. I guess you see the thing about Christianity is that it is about nothing more than a child having a father and a mother.
But wouldn't you still say it's what God wanted?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I still don't get.
Well, yeah, if he's entirely in control of the creation, right? But no, if you let your kids into the room and you of course you're holding them and you're constraining them, but then you set them down in the middle of the floor, and the first thing they do is go and try to pull down some glass item on top of their heads. Then they have free will, right? You don't have any control over that. So this entire Christian bullshit is nothing more than the structure of our human family.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is being all-knowing. You know what's going to happen when you set the kid down. So choosing to set the kid down, I think, entails you wanting it to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, if they're all-knowing and omnipresent and it doesn't exist in time, so he's not at one particular point in time, but can see right to the end of time, obviously knows everything that's going to happen. But they have some way of dealing with that, don't they?
Well, they think they do. They say, like what you said, sometimes God can choose not to know or whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
God would have then had to choose not to know before he could do anything.
Right.
Because he would know the outcome of all things before he even got started.
But then how do you know that what you choose not to know won't affect the outcome of things that you want to know and want to have done?
Well, you would know it before you chose not to know it.
Wow.
You would know before you chose not to know it.
Yeah.
Right?
So you still can't get around it. Because he's all knowing until he decides to not be knowing, right?
You know what you don't know what you know.
So he wills himself to not know what he knew before so that it's not known to him.
But let's just say there is a way around it, right? Doesn't that then just make God a dick?
Well, I think we could establish that about a few dozen different ways just off the top of our heads right now. Think of all the atrocities that were committed. Most of the most notable of which is the genocide of an entire planet, except for his select special little family. So we can establish that God's a dick, at least the biblical God.
Let's see here.
I'm muted. So it's a fairy tale that's very similar to the entire Santa Claus mythos. And all I want to say to Christians is grow the fuck up. I mean, Jesus, I'm so tired of this bullshit.
I don't know how close it is to Santa Claus, but
well, there aren't a lot of parallels, but I mean, it is the same kind of mythos, right? It requires, in fact, Santa Claus is easier to believe because there's a tangible Santa Claus up in the North Pole somewhere, and he has magical fairies, right?
Right.
What's that?
I mean, Santa Claus is falsifiable, though.
Yeah.
Most concepts of a god are not falsifiable, and they're constructed to be. So that's why I still argue. People disagree with me, but I think that that the notion of a god being timeless and all that is special pleading, because you're basically creating a category of entity that fits the narrative of a creator god instead of. I mean, how is that not special pleading? I don't understand how that could not be.
I mean, we could take the Santa Claus story and I have the Book of Santa, and in the Book of Santa it says that if you search for his magical kingdom in the North Pole, it automatically moves. It slides away from your search, so that if you're a skeptic and you're going up there, you're not going to find it. You're only going to find it if you're an elf. So I mean, we could invent any fucking thing we want to make the story so that there is no way to falsify it, right?
Santa Claus apologetics.
Are you trying to escape from Dr. Josh's inescapable logic?
So particular, that was the one sprang into existence in three-dimensional time and space. They would have to be finite or infinite, and that part doesn't really make any. But I think that's verbatim from what the guy said to me.
I know it's what's so funny.
Well, here's the thing: if
your response,
if things came into existence, then they would have to be finite and infinite. I'm fine with that. Like,
yeah, but how could something be infinite? A thing, a particular. How could a particular be infinite?
I think that time doesn't work like that. I think that time starts from a point, and to say that anything's infinite is nonsensical. It starts from the point of space-time expansion. Am I wrong there? Am I misunderstanding?
That's just the Big Bang, right?
Right.
We can go past that and say existence, right? We can start with existence.
But existence in a temporal state where it's moving forward.
I mean, because the Big Bang doesn't say anything starts,
right?
Other than inflation.
Yeah, but what we understand of the concepts of time, the mathematics behind the concepts of time, don't they kind of break down there? So we can't say that time, as we understand it, would exist before the expansion.
Well, I mean, you could actually, because we do know how time is affected by mass and energy, right?
Right.
So, given infinite density and basically all the mass there can possibly be, you can expect time to run at a rate of 0. It's not that time doesn't exist; it's just not moving.
Yeah, it
has no velocity,
crawl, right? And
yeah, it exists, but with no velocity.
Okay, yeah. So that's kind of my understanding of it too. So when you get to talking about things that are happening, causation before inflation, with time being a zero, I don't see how that causation can even be claimed at that point.
Yeah, I'll respond to Digital Hammurabi. The God of the Bible is necessary. I mean, even if that's true, he's still inside existence. Existence is not equal to just time and space.
What's your response? He's channeling that bizarre For the Win guy.
Yeah. New Testament for the win.
I think Dr. Josh has PTSD just like me because he's been channeling him ever since I did that failed broadcast the other day. But
I think Dr. Josh steals the powers of everybody he engages with. He can imitate anybody he ever engaged with. He can imitate them.
That's kind of scary.
You just said verbatim what the guy was saying to you the other night. So, yeah.
Right. I don't know if you wrote it down.
You have to feel sorry for Megan because I know she has to hear this all the time.
Anyway, I just want to take a little interlude here. There you go. I had to do it.
Really is such a good song.
Oh, it is. Yep. I wanted to put up, seeing as how he appeared and said that I haven't refuted his argument, I wanted to put his entire argument up on screen. This is from Otangelo himself again, so that we can take a look at his argument and let's see, how can we refute this one? I don't know. It's a pretty tough one.
Did you really put up a look at the trees argument?
He did. He put it up this morning on J. Passick's.
Well, Rainbow, when I looked at it, I said, well, this is absolutely correct. Clearly, no one made any of this. Because what's on the left is so incongruous to what's on the right that it's not designed. So, So, that little short, bald guy is very smart.
He's very smart. Smarter than Otangelo, apparently.
Otangelo missed Icarus's response to this too. He said a waterfall needs a waterfaller. So
what's your response
to that?
Let me address Digital Eye here. To my best knowledge, no, they don't just pop into existence.
Does your three-dimensional reality spring? Yeah, he's still channeling. The poor guy. He can't stop channeling this crazy person we have.
Like it's possible.
The accent.
I suppose it's possible. It's just there's no evidence that they spring in from nowhere.
Yeah, I was trying to talk to the guy and I was trying to explain to him that, number one, we don't know anything about physics. And number two, even the people that know a lot about physics still have a long way to go before they figure out exactly what the big expansion was about and what kind of geometry and what other things outside of what we know as our universe we have to understand in order to understand how our universe had the shape that it does, or seems to have the shape that it does, whatever it is doing. And you can't, and if you try to apply causality to it or simple tool thinking primate bullshit, you don't know what you're talking about. So stop fucking doing it, guys. I mean, we don't know what we're talking about when we talk about causality before the big expansion, It's just,
Robbie really likes me.
I just want to say real quick that
he does.
I just want to quiz everybody. What kind? I know that brain bug probably identifies most with the butterfly, but are you a rabbit person? Are you a squirrel person, or maybe one of those birds up there in the sky identifies with you?
I'm going to speculate that those are ducks or geese or some kind of anisiform. The way that they're flying in the V like that.
Okay, so I just want people to like in the side chat put what they identify with. What's their spirit animal from that picture?
Well, they could be the trees or the flowers too. I mean, let's not be biased.
You've got me right there. You've got me right there, brain bug. I should not be speciesist.
My spirit animal is the waterfall.
Oh,
that is so sexy.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, when you're 70 years old, you tend to fall a lot.
Especially if there's water on the floor.
Well, I see lots of rocks down there at the bottom, so those will catch you before you drown.
Yeah, they'll catch me.
And then you can take with you and put it under your microscope.
I just hate the way rocks catch me. It just
they're not very gentle.
No, they aren't. Yeah, they suck.
I remember this one kid when I was in junior high. We were at some band event and we're all running back to the bus because we were behind schedule, and this tenor saxophone player tripped and fell, landed on his knee, and a rock went through those tendons above your knee or whatever, went right through all that. And he gets up on the bus and he squeezes the rock out, which must have been very painful, and then he just started gushing blood everywhere.
Oh my God. Yep. The last great fall I had was when I was leaf blowing and I backed over a little asshole ninja fire hydrant that was about 12 inches tall, not like a normal fucking fire hydrant, like they put this little shitty fire hydrant out there, and I backed over it and I went horizontal and I came down on my elbow. So my entire weight ended up on my elbow, and it caused a bleeding, bulging joint that was the size of a grapefruit. And I was like, holy shit, that was impressive. It didn't break any bones, but broke a vein. And, when you're leaf blowing and you're having fun and you're blowing the leaves and you're trying to outsmart them, you kind of lose touch with what you're doing. And you forget that there's a fucking fire hydrant.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are all of you?
Hey,
yeah. I didn't sleep well last night. I was at a client site where somebody was smoking marijuana in the parkade, and it was strong, and I couldn't see them around anywhere, but this was going on for hours there. I had to go through the parkade a few times. I'm wondering if maybe they had something added to it, because it messed up my sleep schedule. I don't smoke anything, so.
So you're pretty stoned yet, eh?
I don't know. No, I was not trying to breathe it in, but the smells of stuff like that seem to cause problems for me when I'm trying to sleep. So, and the parkade was in the morning. In the evening, back back home. It's just funny how it goes. So so I've slept in this morning and feeling kind of refreshed now, which is good. But you guys had a cartoon on earlier.
Oh, that was Otangelo.
Oh,
Otangelo put up his entire argument for us in a nutshell, so that we no longer have to listen to anything Otangelo says. We can just refer to this cartoon every time his argument comes up, because that's it.
And you can pick your spirit animal, Randolph, whichever one you want.
Yeah, spirit animal.
Well, I guess raccoons are already taken.
Speaking of raccoons, I got to go feed my raccoons. I'll be back.
Well, you have a nice rabbit. You have a
I'll-
squirrel. You have a butterfly. You have a bird up here.
You know what I think? I think I'll take a page out of Sterling Archer's book and go with the ocelot.
The ocelot. You just want to identify with the ocelot. Very cool.
Might as well.
As he tears up and pisses all over everything.
I think maybe the ocelot would be in the bushes there hunting the squirrel and the rabbit.
That's nicely drawn scenery, actually. The cartoonist did a great job, but yeah, this is this is an attempt to vilify atheists again. So yeah.
So wait, is Dr. Joss serious?
No.
Okay, I was making sure, 'cause
Oh,
I thought it was insane for a minute.
He's play acting as his.
I don't know Dr. Joss super well.
Dr. Josh engages with a lot of apologists, and he like absorbs their mannerisms and their talking points, and can spit them back out. It's crazy how well he can do it. With Kent Hovind, he does like a perfect impression of Kent Hovind. It's amazing.
Yep.
Oh, he's right on the mark with
scary.
it. Totally,
Yep.
totally on the mark.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Yeah.
He needs to argue against him doing him.
You know, what'd be great is if Dr. Josh ever gets into a live debate with Kent Hovind, he should wear the same kind of shirt and talk just like him through the whole thing.
Hovind will think that he's looking in a mirror.
Well, that's what. Well, okay. Yeah, I don't want to give that part away. There is somebody I know that wants to, that's probably going to debate Hovind and do a pretty good job at that. So.
Oh, good. Well, as long as you know evolution, then Kent Hovind's fancy sidestepping will fail. But you got to know the science to do that. Yeah.
Oh, how long is it going to take for my photos to get from my phone to my Mac? That is the question.
Otangelo, whatever you need to know about butterfly evolution, you can ask specific questions. I don't know what part of a butterfly's life cycle or anatomy that you're thinking couldn't have evolved, or that we don't have a good record of it evolving, but I promise that we do, and I can explain it to you if you want me to.
This is why it's always good to have Brainbug on, to answer all those bug-related questions.
Yes, but where's the link between old butterflies and new butterflies?
Okay, Dr. Banjo.
Yeah, metamorphosis is a feature. It's not really evolution, is it?
And it was it's kind of the default more so than a something that's against the natural biology of a species. The earliest arthropods went through, and they still do, some more, especially more basal ones, still go through metamorphosis. So there's more that go through in arthropods that go through a metamorphosis than that do not. But we do understand where the species that don't go through it, at what point in their evolution they stopped having a metamorphosis through a nymph state or a larval state.
Yeah, you show me a fungal dinosaur turning into a butterfly, science man.
With the right special effects, anything's possible. Look at those raccoons.
Oh, there we go. There's that whole gang of raccoons.
They look like they're cleaning up your yard. Is that what they're doing?
I'm sure they're adding to the
they're cleaning up about $10 worth of dog food.
Yeah, someone keeps spilling dog food in your yard. What a shame.
I don't know who that is. Yeah. Anyway.
So when are those new people
Raccoons
moving
look
in
great,
that
though.
you may have to change your raccoon feeding ways? When are they moving in?
What was that now? My neighbor's
moving.
moving?
Some new neighbors, and you were worried about.
Right. And I went and met him last night, and he was like, oh, I just want you to know we have dogs, and I hope they don't bother you. And I said, well, it just so happens that I have raccoons. I hope they don't bother you. And so, yeah, he's a really nice guy. He's going to be really easy to get along with. He's got a 3-year-old, and he's going to fence his yard for his dogs.
Well,
and
I think it would be okay to include some predators in the ecosystem there. I think that's what they need.
What size of dog?
Yeah, the dogs may have a problem with the raccoons. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because raccoons will eat small dogs.
Oh yeah. These guys will kick his ass. I mean, these guys will fuck him up.
Those are some heavyweight raccoons.
And hopefully, for your sake and the sake of the whole neighborhood, it's not a yard full of chihuahuas or something.
I love the little people hands.
Yeah,
but their hands to the fence and reach for stuff.
Yeah, there's about another 10 of them hiding in the on the other side of that dip in down into the valley, and then under that blue tarp, there are 2 or 3 of them. I give them a whole big bowl of dog food all to themselves because they sit under that tarp and they poke their noses out, and and so they're smart as shit, you know. And these other guys are fighting it out here. So
you got about 30 raccoons in the area.
Are the raccoons there 24/7?
They only come out like there are a couple that got smart and they come out before the sun goes down, but the rest of them come out whenever the sun goes down, and then they'll eat like at around 8-9 o'clock, and then now the little fuckers are starting to come back 2 or 3 times a night because a couple of times they get up on my fence and they stare at me through the window. He gets up on his tippy toes. And I'm sitting in my chair watching Netflix, and I look over, and there's this raccoon staring at me. And then we make eye contact, right? And he gets all excited. And so I got to feed him. So, fuck. I don't know what I'm going to do.
They've got you trained. They have got you trained.
I just bought 114 pounds of dog food at Sam's Club this morning.
Hey, Speed, I have an idea for you. What you should do is get a webcam set up and put it on a schedule. So, like, it starts before the raccoons show up, maybe 20 or 30 minutes before they do, and then you call it raccoon cam. Put it on your channel every night. Just have it automatically, and just run for a couple hours, and then people can donate to the raccoon food fund.
Yep, I did a video last night. I went out and I lectured them, and they listened to me, and I told them, "Look, guys, you need to start fucking hunting a little bit because Grandpa can no longer afford to feed you guys this much dog food."
No, I'm serious. Like, make it automatic so it happens every single night. And
that'd be cool.
Yeah, because there's one I saw, the one such channel. They run it 24/7, and they're showing it somewhere up here in Canada and way up north, and they're showing the moose and deer coming by and different animals all day and night. It goes around the clock, and it automatically switches to night mode. Infrared mode. There's usually like a couple thousand people watching it, so you can probably pick up a good size audience with something like this.
Can I respond to, because Otangelo did ask a question about the butterflies? How did the compass of the monarch butterfly evolve? I just want to say real quick, but monarch butterflies are polyphenic, which means they have 2 different phenotypes in their genes, and they will, based on environmental pressures, respond naturally and reproduce a different phenotype of offspring. Sometimes they're called super monarchs during the time of year when they need to be migratory. These super monarchs have as part of their phenotype, have a drive to make the migratory journey to the different breeding grounds, and then they reproduce down there, and then they come back up, and it's a seasonal migration with multiple populations producing different phenotypes to make this journey, and then the phenotype that is resident to build and collect more nourishment for the next generation.
Can the butterflies also see the ultraviolet colors? Like they're able to see all that?
Yeah, they sure can. Okay, you all can go back to raccoons now. I just wanted to answer that question.
Oh, we're done with
That was a
raccoons.
great answer. We appreciate it.
I wanted to point out that Gerstreams usually shows up right away on my videos, but tonight I'm guessing he's under his blanket hiding in shame.
No, he said that he has guests coming over, and he's popped in a couple of times.
Oh, really? Yes, he actually did pop his head out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to head off for dinner, but yeah, thanks for hosting this, Speed. And,
Yeah, we're better tonight.
Thanks for stopping by, Randolph.
Enjoy your dinner.
Good night.
What is a parkade?
Isn't that like margarine?
It's like a butter, right?
No. He mentioned he was at
like
a
a pavilion type, like where they would hold like a concert type thing. I think, or
those Canadians. Those Canadians they talk funny.
I think that's what he meant. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if they call the trunk of your car a boot or not, but I'm not sure.
In Canada?
Oh, so Scott's running. You're running.
Yeah, I'm running. I'm a coward,
running.
running from airtight questions I can't escape from.
We can't escape. Yeah, you atheists.
Coward.
I loved at the end of that stream that guy said, "You're not going to get away from this," and I said, "Oh yeah, I am."
Goodbye.
My fucking channel.
Yeah, when the other person controls the channel, you can't say stuff like that.
I know. It just
context,
really,
people, context. All you evangelists out there, all you apologists.
Yeah. Anyway, what the hell else is happening?
Well, I think I just saw on the community post that Kip Davis is going to have a conversation with S.J. Thomason about the Dead Sea Scrolls, various passages from Genesis and Psalms, and I would imagine Daniel.
So Kip Davis is on what channel?
Kip Davis, but I don't know. I don't know who's hosting it. So let me go back to the channels and we'll take a look. That should be interesting. I really love it when you get people doing textual studies of the Dead Sea Scrolls. They're really a great window into the state of the Hebrew Bible.
Let's just take a look here and see on his channel if. Nope. Stop it.
All rise. What was that?
YouTube stop. I don't know. I just clicked on something I should not have clicked on.
It's on S.J. Thomason's channel.
Oh, okay.
It will be hosted there, yeah. Tomorrow at 3:30 Central Eastern, I think. And I'm probably wrong on that. I really should not open my mouth.
One thing we hate to do on this channel is provide links in our description.
Well, I think what I'll do is provide a link
in the description.
Are you working on it? I was working on it too. Christian and an agnostic walk into a bar. Is that one?
Yes.
Okay. I'll get it in there, Scott.
Okay.
You rest your poor
my finger's
overworked
still a
little
little
head.
sore from all that mouse wheel turning.
Yeah. A Christian and an agnostic walk into a bar. I love it.
It's a good title. That's a good title.
Yeah, that is. And he put little hashtags there so that that was pretty smart. He put hashtags in his title.
No,
cool.
That's S.J. Thompson is who is a female.
Speed, I was wrong. So a parkade is a multi-level car park, I guess.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wow. And that was infiltrated with thick cannabis smoke. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh, God, Otando just checkmated us here. This is fucking checkmate, man. For evolutionists. First, you need to explain how it emerged in the first place. What's your response?
He wants us to go into the origins or bust, right? Like abiogenesis.
Yeah.
It's okay to say we don't know right now. We have some good theories.
I know what happened. Existence. That's how it happened.
Yeah, existence.
Existence.
So
it has the properties necessary. It has the properties necessary to make life happen.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. When you say existence, I want to do like a Gregorian chant.
That's fine.
But I don't know any Gregorian chants.
Just do gibberish. It's fine.
Gibberish. So
I can find a playlist of Gregorian chants on Spotify.
I think Otangelo should take a look at this book right here, and he should refute this book instead of just coming up with stupid cartoons.
Can you put the book on the screen?
Well, could I?
Can you show the class? Can you show the whole class, sir?
Can I, Scott? Can I do that? Yeah, I can.
Hey.
Yeah. I was just defeated, by the way, in the live chat, so I'm humiliated now.
Oh, what happened?
Dr. Josh just checkmated me.
Oh,
no. I don't even know how it happened or what. Even
Anyway, this book by Smith and Morowitz is Otangelo, go buy this book. Oh, okay, read it and refute it page by page. Go ahead. I dare you. Double dog dare you. Okay, I'm gonna put that in the description just for other people to, but don't try to read this book. I mean, this book is a tough read, really.
It's kind of a strange thing. There's this hypnotic power that Digital Hammurabi has, Dr. Josh has. Anytime he shows a book on screen, I tend to buy it.
Go buy it, right?
Weird, like that Canaanite book. I forget who the person's last name was. It began with an M, maybe. I bought it today.
I just want to thank Amazon for not doxing me when I pull up their. At least I don't think they're doxing.
Oh, they're doxing you. They are doxing you.
Delivered to Michael Bloomington 55470. That or 55420. I don't want to get that. In case you want to stop by, I don't want you to get my zip code wrong. Now that I provided that, it's okay for Smokey and Will to come and figure out where I live, and right? Because I made it public. Yep. I'm Mike in Bloomington. Come look for me.
Actually, it was Mary Ellen Buck wrote that book.
Oh, that one. Okay, I put that in the description. When was the last time we put the StreamYard link out in the public chat?
Oh,
girls?
I know. I was just about to do that myself. Yeah.
Just about to mention that. Take care of it.
Side chat people, come on in. Let's talk. Tell us
what AJ, come in here.
Except for Otangelo. We don't want Otangelo anymore. I'm done with him.
AJ, Dr. Josh. Who else we got out there? We got Andrew. Okay. David P.
AJ's here. AJ, come on in.
That's what I was saying. AJ needs to get in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Josh should get in here.
What's new in Hovenland? Does somebody have a tracker for when Hoven's going to jail and when he's getting out? And
the 18th, he's supposed to go in.
He's supposed to turn himself in. It'll be really interesting to see if he does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't, because that will put him in some deep shit.
Yep. That will. He just got off parole on his last charge, right?
Josh is killing me in the live chat. That is his lead between the two of them. Oh. Yeah, we're just asking to be humiliated. Dr. Josh comes in here and stinks us all.
His powers of debate are just insidious.
Humiliatory defeat, I think I would call this. Humiliatory defeat, to coin a term.
I'm into that a little bit. So
by the way,
yeah.
Brainbug, your Conservapedia things and the videos you do are pretty goddamn good.
Thank you. I put a lot of hours into those. Not a lot of people watch them, but I put the time in because it's a labor of love.
Yeah, and anytime you have a link to those things, I will throw them in my description, and they're wonderful to watch. Pretty good. Yeah. How deep is the Conservapedia? How many hundreds?
Oh my gosh! So we not this last week, but the week before we did because they have an article that's on bestiality, like.
Oh yeah,
and it was the biggest article I've ever seen on Conservapedia ever, like the most well researched. It was huge. And I didn't even read the article. We kind of just went through and looked at the titles because there was so much. PZ Myers had a whole section. I was telling him that earlier today. I said they have a whole section in there dedicated to you, just because he mentioned something about someone asked him a question about morality and bestiality, and he just gave a generic answer, and they made a huge deal about it.
How long ago did you do the video?
It was the Saturday before last, or before, yeah, not this morning, but the last Saturday, I guess it would have been.
I hear Kent Hovind is a fan of bestiality.
Oh yeah?
No.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm trying to find the video. We got Live from the Hive. We got Conservapedia Argues with Itself. Crypto Corner, Giant Snakes, Live from the Hive. Well, let's take a look here. Let's just throw this thing on the screen, and you can help me out.
Brainbug, did you just have another snake show with Jason?
It's probably a clip of the same
clip?
show
Okay, all right.
that you watched before.
I enjoyed the show, but I had the creepy crawlies for like that whole day.
Can you spot it for me here, Brainbug?
It's going to be I guess it would be the one.
Conservapedia Argues with Itself?
With the bestiality, I think it's going to be the one with the guy eating the baby.
Oh, okay. Okay, Live from the Hive.
Yeah, but you got to go kind of deeper into it.
Okay.
Go about the 30-minute mark, maybe. Maybe a little bit further.
You know, possible Panther sightings.
Crypto Corner.
That was about the Black Panther bullshit.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I'm not a fan of sports. I'm going to talk about
Okay, right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. I'll put that in the description. Yeah, and I think you were asking the question, why do they spend so much time on bestiality? Why is
right?
That?
It's ridiculous. How much they because I went and used the article on Christmas because this Conservapedia, they're conservative Christians, expected the just to compare the size of the article. So the Christmas article was a average sized article, but the bestiality article was something else. Something else completely. I think this might not be the right one. I think I may have given you the wrong one. But,
wrong video?
Yeah.
Back up. Yeah, because I remember watching and it was Crypto Corner, Giant Snakes. Anyway, well, let us know.
This one was the September 18th one, I believe.
This one.
Right there. Yeah. Molt off of. Let's see about known and
going to 30.
They were arguing.
Okay, Washington. This is it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, we'll get that one in the
description. There you go. That's the right one.
Yep. Oh no, did I not give this a like?
Speaking of,
huh?
You gotta like all the videos, every one of them. No,
I know. And speaking of like
videos, Brainbug.
Speaking of likes, boys and girls, how many likes do I have today? I only have
13 out of 20.
Yeah, what the hell is wrong with you people? No appreciation,
14. For this is high quality entertainment. We are looking into stuff that other people have done, looking into what I've done, which is the most important stuff that anybody's done.
It is, yes. Yep.
So I do appreciate that you watch my stuff, Steve, and you always give me a compliment. I'm getting better and better at editing these down. It goes a little bit faster now than it used to.
You could teach me a thing or two about getting shit out there. I have 2 videos I'm going to try to premiere tomorrow.
Do you use OBS?
I showed up for your live stream the other day when you had the interview, and then it didn't. I had like just a little window of time at work where I wasn't talking on the phones where I could actually watch it, and then you didn't do it. And I was like, well, damn.
Yep, I know. I'm sorry. We couldn't get his StreamYard sound to work. There's nothing he could do to do it. So
did we ask him if he was using Chrome?
Yeah, I don't know if we did or not.
Yeah, I wonder if that makes a difference, or if he had some obscure browser.
If you have too many tabs open, it can.
Yeah.
So my great niece is raising butterflies for her entomology class this quarter, and she sent me a video of her butterflies that she's raising. Kind of cool.
And the butterflies, you know.
Vanessa Cardui is one of them. Vanessa Cardui. She's got a little video here.
I'll tell you one thing that really stuck with me was when I was in kindergarten years and years and years and years ago. There was this bush outside next to the building, and the teachers, I guess, had found some caterpillars that lived up in there. And so, we would quietly, individually, as little kindergartners, go and look at the caterpillars and stuff. And then later on, when they had made the cocoon for themselves or whatever, she took us out there and, we looked at them. And then, of course, that spring, when they came out and were flying around, they took us back and showed where the cocoon, had been opened or whatever. And the butterfly had come out. And, she did this long, protracted, school year long study for us about butterflies and how they work. That was really amazing.
I want to apologize to Do You Know Me. He was in here and we were talking about brain and hypnosis and language, and then we got distracted by a bug.
But isn't that the way it always happens? Bug!
Bug, yeah. It's like squirrel. Bug.
Actually, I think that was my fault. I suggested the idea, so I apologize.
Well, he was talking about bringing up the we
blame
was at the beginning of the show before he even popped in when you all were talking about Speed. You sent Speed to the fridge to get the bugs, and then he came in and asked this question about hypnosis, and we got into that a little bit, and then Speed pulled his bug up, and I was it's all my fault.
Well,
I'm sorry.
There's an interesting parallel to that. If you take a psychedelic like LSD, and they've done this, psychologists have done this, and they've tested it, and you get yourself a rubber ball that's really that you can squeeze easily, or a ball of dough or clay or something like that, and you start squeezing it, they can regress you back in memory and it works like a charm almost every time. For some reason, your hand squeezing the ball will just bring you back. And I was subject to that technique under psychedelics and regressed back and got the most vivid, memories are never eidetic, but I got these really informative memories. And one of them I went and researched extensively, and it appears to have happened in 1953 when I was 2 years old. And I was looking at license plates, and I was seeing what appeared to be like Russian symbols, right? I couldn't recognize them because I didn't know how to read. And I was eye level with license plates. So I was walking along a line of cars in my grandpa's driveway at what turned out to be his 50th wedding anniversary in 1953. And I had this just unbelievable vision of the house and everything. It was just incredible. It was really cool. But so you can put your brain in a state where you can start to find memories that you're, ordinarily not going to run into. Either with hypnosis, which is just a relaxation technique, or whatever. So brain states are interesting. Your brain kind of operates on a pattern of waveforms. And normally what we're doing is we're tightly focusing on what's going on in our heads. This like rational roof brain kind of stuff. And when you get away from that and you start to just open up to the rest of your body and relax your mind, you'll start to kind of tumble through your brain and start just reliving a whole lot of weird shit. That's kind of cool. But other than that, as far as making people think they're a dog and making them bark, I mean, has anybody verified any of that? I don't know. Not sure.
Don't Don't know.
Silence from the panel. So I guess not. Yeah.
I've
You know,
never
it's,
confirmed hypnotic thing at all ever.
yeah, you got to wonder if those people are plants in the audience. Like, you know, magicians do that all the time, and psychics, they plant people in the audience.
That's true, but you know, people aren't that dishonest. Come on, Speed.
Right.
Would you want to go through life that paranoid?
I think I have gone through life that paranoid. I think I've already been there, done that. So, I don't know.
And I think you described it well because like relaxation, how you describe it, and that's probably obviously it explains why that's just temporary. Like you said, that's very common. Only lasted like a week, right? And you were back smoking. You said after like a week.
Well, what happened is my second wife was pregnant with twins, and she was the size of a goddamn mega mall, and I was afraid to walk across the floor. And her and I went to the mall, and this was like a full 7-8 weeks before they were supposed to be born. And she went into labor. And while she was in labor, they gave her a drug to try to stop the labor. And it had a 1% chance of giving her congestive heart failure. And she won that lottery. And so I went outside in my car, and in the back of my leather jacket, I found a pack of cigarettes that had fell through a hole in my pocket. And like I pulled out a pack of cigarettes, and I started smoking again. And I smoked from 1981 until 2011. So the hypnosis lasted for a week. It would have worked. I could have been free, but those damn kids decided to pop out.
Yep.
Those damn kids.
Damn
Do you
kids.
think your description of your wife might have had something to do with your divorce?
Well, she was
a what? A mall?
the mega mall.
The mega mall, yeah, the mega mall.
Yeah, she was a real thin person, and she was thin, pretty much until about halfway through her pregnancy, and she started eating pizzas and bananas, and she just put on. I mean, these kids were just like, her stomach was just unbelievably big. Like I was afraid to walk across the room. I thought she'd pop, Well, she had two of them in there, and they were like, well, they ended up only being about 2 pounds and 1 pound, about 1 3/4. Yeah, no, 2 pounds 2 ounces, and the other one was 2 pounds 7 ounces. But I mean,
that's small, huh? Wow.
Oh, they were, yeah, and they very nearly died, both of them, and one of them was in really critical shape for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
We didn't get them home for like 6-7 weeks. They were in the hospital.
I bet. Yeah, being that small, yeah.
Yeah, and I can't watch movies about preemies without bursting into tears.
Oh yeah. I avoid movies like that.
Yeah. But my son, who lives upstairs and who's 40 years old, who just got home, he was the one that had the most trouble. He was the second one that came out, and he had hyaline membrane disease, and he had a heart murmur. And they called us aside and they said, "Well, okay, we're going to do surgery," and he has a 20% chance of surviving the surgery, and we have to do it because he has a 0% chance of surviving the day. We had to sign papers, 20%. Wow. And then nurse came up to us and said, are you guys Catholic? Do you want last rites? And they were prepping him for surgery, and his heart murmur suddenly quit, and he started to oxygenate.
Wow.
It's a miracle. It was a fucking miracle, but it happened within like a half an hour. They were going to wheel him into surgery, and if they had, he might have died. And now he's like a healthy 40-year-old. So owns a software company.
Takes you for walks every day.
Yep. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. It was a miracle.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
Well, hello.
Yeah,
Danny.
we told that nurse to fuck off.
Hi, Danny.
Good morning, guys.
You doing well today?
Good morning.
Yeah, I have to
Where
go
the hell
in
are
10
you?
minutes.
You on the other side of the planet? Or?
Oh, it's 8 p.m. Okay, sorry. Good night.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
No, I have to leave in like 10 minutes. So.
Yeah. Well, Danny, you're a weenie. What's your response?
What do you mean?
Define weenie.
I mean, in particular, with the properties of a weenie, what's your response?
You know, I talked to that guy like a year ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How did it go?
I got him really frustrated, actually.
Was he doing?
He was getting very frustrated with me.
He got frustrated with Jefferson. Jefferson did a really good job of handling him. I talked to him prior, and he implied that he was going to have a real conversation like human beings, and then he came on and he did nothing like that at all. And so I was done with it, and I'm not quippy and clever enough to fuck with him, and I just wanted to get rid of him. So, but yeah, do you have a link to the video to where you talked to him, Dan?
He recorded it. I don't know where it is.
Well, he's got a whole bunch of those really shitty, him doing "What's your response" over and over again to Tom Jump.
Yeah.
And, you must be out there somewhere. So, what is the name of the site again?
I think it's called something like something for the win.
Yeah, that's at the end of it, but there's something at the beginning.
New Testament for the win.
Yeah, that. I don't know.
What was that? Yeah, I thought he had a couple of different channels. Like he had a different one before, so I think I'm not positive on that. But.
Well, YouTube handles are really quite fluid.
Yeah.
Biblical account FTW. That's his thing.
Oh, was that what it was? I thought it was New Testament. Never mind.
Yeah, biblical account.
I don't think he posted. I wonder if he posted, or I would be surprised if he posted.
Holy shit! He's got hundreds of them. Or well, maybe not hundreds, but he's got a lot. He's got up to 3 months ago, I guess. So on this channel, he's only got him going 3 months ago. So he might have had that on a different channel or something. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like he's got. I don't know. There's no load more. So 3 months ago was the last one. Pretty bad. Weird guy. Just strange. I don't know what they think they're doing when they do that. What do they think they're doing? What are they trying to accomplish? I mean, so and then if you ask any clarifying questions or you try to drill down on any one term, he hits you with a totally different.
I just get really aggressive. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's just a game, I think, for him, or trolling. I don't know. Would you call it trolling? Probably. I don't know.
Yeah, it
seems to me anyway.
I'm not all that good at being aggressive with these people. I just don't have fucking time for this idiocy.
That's gorgeous.
Apparently, it's Orion's GW Orionis has 3 stars centered within 3 wobbly rings of dust. Astronomers think there could be a rare 3-sun planet in the mix too.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Does anybody think it looks like a giant octopus eye?
It kind of does, like the eye of Sauron or something.
You got a link?
Cthulhu's eye. Run, everyone!
You got a link to that?
Yeah, it's a big long one.
I think we should all submit to our cephalopod overlord.
Maybe so. Like it's inescapable.
We are just on a neuron on one of his many appendages.
Yeah. Let's see. What was the? Anybody watch Calder from Outer Space?
Watch what?
Can't say I have. No.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi. It had Nick Cage in it, but it was still pretty good.
What's that article with the woodpecker there? No.
Scientists officially list 23 species as extinct, including the largest woodpecker in the U.S. Damn it!
Oh no!
Oh,
we lost
terrible.
another one. Shoot.
Why do we like big things so much? We're still wondering about the dinosaurs.
Why do we like big things so much?
Yeah, why do we favor big things? The little things are cooler.
Because megafauna have a longer lifespan, I think, so they become a little bit more charismatic to us because they have, that longer lifespan leads to more input and more personality throughout their lifespan. Just a theory.
I think it's because we're basically seist at our nature, and if we can't see it without a microscope, we don't like it.
Well, unless I was trying to sleep and there was a tree just outside my window, I've always loved woodpeckers.
Oh my God!
They're just a fun species.
I love woodpeckers too. It's
the house that they just rebuilt next to me after it burned down, almost burned down, was wood, and this goddamn woodpeckers were on that house constantly. And I was like, no, I'm not sure if I love them or not.
They're hard to get rid of too, a little bit. You know, they can be tough to. Yeah.
Yeah, I kept telling there was a real old lady that worked that lived there, and I kept telling her the woodpeckers are eating your house. You realize that, right? they're chipping away. You know, you hear them every day. Clack, clack, clack. Anyway, so you got to go to bed early, Danny?
No, I'm playing video games with friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that usually means, right, there's bugs in the house too, right? Because that's what the woodpeckers are going after.
They were after the bugs in the beginning. Yeah, it meant the bugs were eating the house too.
Yeah.
Woodpeckers are doing it.
Yeah, that there's a good chance that she had like termites or something if they were hitting her house that hard.
Yep.
So you got to be careful when you try to control woodpeckers or bats too.
Right.
You get into a colony of like an endangered species and you start poisoning them or something, and it gets linked back to you. That's a huge fine.
Yeah.
People trying to poison them and they're endangered.
Yeah.
But it's expensive to bat-proof your house once they get inside there. I had a big plantation house that I was renting, and there's bats kept getting in the attic, and we had people to do the fencing, the little nets they put up and up under the eaves and stuff. It was a mess. A lot of bat poop.
Yeah, I've come across them tearing stuff out, and they take off. You got tearing, and they whiz right by your face. Talk about scaring the shit out of you.
And our farmhouse, like every maybe 6 months or once a year, a bat would get loose in the house, and my dad would get out the broom and go chasing it, and we'd be trying to help him, and it was kind of like very much like this. Oh, where the hell is it? I've got an example here. Wow, I don't know what happened. Weird. I don't have any audio. Anyway, my dad hit me. He swung with the broom and he hit me right in the stomach. And I was like 13 years old, and he almost knocked me out. It was amazing.
I think Randolph's in the back. Let me see. Oh, here we go.
Welcome back.
How was dinner, Randolph?
It was delicious. We tried a tequila chicken that we saw.
Whoa. Oh,
is that the tequila music?
No, that was my dad chasing me with a broom. Chasing a bat with a broom.
Sounds kind of Benny Hill like. There we go.
That's what it was like. Anyway, yeah. Oh, we were trying to figure out what a parkade was.
A parkade?
Yeah.
Where people park their vehicles.
A parking lot or a parking ramp.
Underground or within a building. It's not a parking lot out in the open. It is a parking
garage
inside a structure.
Yeah.
Okay, let me update my Canadian to English dictionary.
Why? What do you guys think a parkade is?
We call it a parking garage.
Yeah,
there you go. Parking garage.
Or a parking ramp, or whatever. Yeah, parking ramp usually.
Usually they'll facilitate a lot of parking spots.
But the top floor is usually open, right?
But I mean, yeah, those things are usually pretty open. How in the hell can that be inundated with a cannabis smoke? Somebody must have had a bush burning in the bottom or something.
No, someone was in the parkade smoking it earlier.
Yeah, but I mean, damn. I mean, those things are pretty aerated. I don't know.
The smell, it's not like tobacco smoke that dissipates rather quickly. The marijuana smoke hangs around, it lingers.
It does tend to linger.
Yeah.
A little bit heavier, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah,
but I sometimes wonder if the tobacco smoke only does that because it's full of 500 chemicals and poisons.
Yeah. Yeah,
Marijuana smoke will be too soon. Just wait.
Once big tobacco gets involved, yeah.
Right.
There was a brand of cigarettes I used to buy because they were really inexpensive and because I smoked so much. It was called Legit, and on the label they had a list of all the ingredients in the cigarettes, and I swear to Christ, it was like 40 items that they put in cigarettes, and one of them was licorice, and they had all these chemicals and stuff, and I looked at it and it's like, holy shit, is it really a good idea to be smoking this shit? But I smoked
That's a good question to ask.
It was a good question to ask, yeah.
So
Yeah,
when you smoked cigarettes, Speed, did you smoke like menthols or?
Oh, yuck. Oh, don't even say that. No. I started out on Pall Mall Straights, and I ended up smoking Moors, those 120 millimeter cigarettes for a long time. And then I switched to cheap brands because I was smoking 6 packs a day. That's 180 packs. Today it would cost me $1,800 or like $2,000 a month. So I used to buy really inexpensive brands like American Spirit, and I'd get them from Indian reservations by the box. I would order like carton, like they'd get a forklift and back up the FedEx truck, and that's how I ordered cigarettes.
Hey, have you? I don't know if anybody knows. Here in Canada, we've got a problem with anti-vaxxers doing their protests. They're going inside elementary schools and hospitals and doing the protests.
Oh, what the hell?
I think they've done that here.
They wouldn't let it. You can't get into a school without security clearance around here. So I don't know.
Are they employee protesters? Because we had employee protesters at our hospital here. I was disgusted to see that people who work at the hospital were protesting having vaccine ordinances at the hospital.
That is disgusting.
It's I think that's where I go when I get sick. If I get hurt or something, and you give me COVID, or give my grandma COVID, or give somebody else, give your own grandma COVID, you got to take responsibility for that.
Yeah, take a look at that. I get this from Minnesota Public Radio. It's an email I get every week, and I just thought it was kind of interesting. I suppose I'd probably dox myself, but who gives a shit anymore at this point? But anyway, take a look at this. These are the ages, basically, that are getting our new cases. 10 to 19. You see that that line go way up there?
Oh, that's going way up. That's spike.
30 to 39, 40. Okay, 70 plus is like down here.
It's been going up here too.
This is the Department of Health.
It comes from the statistics come from the Minnesota Department of Health. But I mean, this is reversed from what it was. We had a lot of old people getting it before, but now 10 to 19, 0 to 9 is not so bad. But my relatives up north, my great niece, they had 12 out of like 20 kids tested positive, and
wow.
And they would not allow them a leave of absence to quarantine. They said they would basically be doxxed, whatever they do to you for not attending school. They wouldn't even let them quarantine their kids for 14 days. So the whole class, just went rampant. And and there's a number of schools up there that are shut down, and there are an equal number of schools where they have these assholes outside protesting masks and vaccines, So I think that's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah. Actually, here in Canada, they're going right inside the schools while they're in session and going in the hospitals, and so it's scaring the children in elementary schools. But it's because they're loud and they're awful. They're angry and hostile, right? But they're in the hospitals. It's preventing people who need hospital services from getting hospital services. And so it's a becoming a big problem here. So what we're doing, most of the provinces and territories now are just putting in bubble zones around hospitals and schools, specifically to disallow these kinds of protests. You can still protest, you just can't do it in schools and hospitals. We shouldn't need to put a law like that in, but we have to, because what they're doing is they're interfering with public education, and they're interfering with public health. This is a serious problem. Every health professional here, by the way, is required here, at least in this province, to, and I think it's across the whole country, it's required to be vaccinated. And I remember nurses who I know telling me they were some of the earliest ones to get vaccinated. Grasso United Church of Christ. If you open your mouth, Otangelo will ask. Oh boy, thank you. No. Let's not be that nasty.
Hi, Peter.
Reverend Peter.
Reverend Petey.
My recent interaction with Otangelo on Godless Granny's channel was actually really quite nice. I thought he did very well, and so did Godless Granny, and it was a really productive conversation. I was very happy to see that.
And you felt like you got him to reason in some fashion.
No. I wasn't really trying. He just did it. But he admitted that there are certain things when questions came up from the audience. He admitted that he doesn't know enough about the subject to be able to answer. And then afterwards, he was apologizing for not knowing. And I told him, no, it's actually great that you did that. People will see this as honesty whenever somebody says they don't know something, they don't know. And this is a good thing for your credibility. And so you've earned my respect on this, is what I told him. And he smiled. I think he appreciated that. So,
but now if you look back in chat tonight, just a little bit on this stream, and you look in chat, he's talking about how devastating it is for us that we don't know about abiogenesis. So you may have reasoned with him, but I don't think it took.
I will always encourage people anyway, because I think this is a good thing to encourage. And even if it only happens in one video episode, I still consider this to be successful outreach or progress or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
A lot of credit for that, though, is to Godless Granny, who really held his feet to the fire and didn't let him, as he usually does, answer a question that isn't asked, but insisted on him answering the question that was asked.
Godless Granny is sharp,
in a very nice way, not in a rude way, but he did hold his feet to the fire.
See, Godless Granny is sharp and highly intelligent. Very good.
Yes.
And she's spunky. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
She likes to clap back. It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we're talking about this.
Yes, this is the one.
That's it.
And Leophilius put a comment on Twitter that he appreciated I didn't micromanage them as I was moderating. So it was kind of nice feedback from Leo. I appreciated that too.
I love your positive outlook, Randolph. I love it.
He is a very positive person, and I think we could all do ourselves good by modeling after him.
I try to thank you. I try to encourage people to. I think, like, as a species, we need to, instead of being so competitive, we need to be more encouraging in an uplifting way to each other and helping each other. And that's what I'd like to see with the world. And I partly blame capitalism for this competitive approach.
Well, one of the reasons I really appreciate it is I was at Menards with my ex-wife this morning, and we walked by this big bin, and for $3.49, you could pick any rope, any kind of rope you wanted. And I was looking at it longingly thinking, what could I do with a rope? Anyway, so I really appreciate positive, people with positive attitudes.
Oh, great. That's fantastic. Yeah.
I didn't buy a rope, so I really, but I might go back tomorrow.
They have a lot of different colors.
Oh my God, they had so many different kinds of rope, and it was just $3.49, your choice, anything you want.
Long pieces. Rope is about like 100 feet. You could like hoist that over a big old oak tree, and
I just hung my hammock up with a big length of rope. So yeah, you can.
So you're talking under $4 for that.
Yeah, $3.49 for like Well, they were probably most of them probably ran about 50 feet, but they had like some rough hemp and they had some polished stuff in different colors.
Well, make sure if you buy a bunch that are like the same length, get them all different colors, because that can come in really handy when you're doing something complicated, because you know which one's which very easily.
Well, yeah, I like it. Yeah, when I'm tying up hookers, we're echoing for some reason. Who's echoing?
You're echoing again, old man.
Yeah, yeah. When you're tying up hookers, it's really, really nice to be able to color code them. So I don't know. Randolph shaking his head.
Well, I have only okay if you're getting consent, but it has to be freely given consent.
Oh, of course, they're hookers. You pay them for consent. Yeah.
I mean, I have to agree with Randolph. You need a positive mind. I mean, Speed, how often have I told you to just pack it in and just throw away your channel? And yet, it doesn't help, but I stay positive that maybe one day, who knows?
Who knows? One day I will find my way.
I just want to say to Peter, thank you for that excellent example of sophistry.
Yeah, I'm like that.
Yep.
I know.
I call myself sophisticated.
Yes.
Hey, Randolph, are there any timestamps on this that you know of that we could go to hear a little clip of how this engagement went down?
No, I was just going to ask Speed if he's got something in mind since he's brought this video up. I think overall it went really well. We did Q&A throughout because the questions were piling up. So we started after they both ran their opening statements. We took some Q&A stuff right away, and then they interacted and more Q&A. It was pretty Q&A heavy from the audience. So that was really nice to have this interaction as well. And there's one point where I asked a question to each of them, but that's later on in the video, more than halfway through, I think, asking them what they think would be they've encountered as most convincing argument against their positions, and they both gave answers to that.
Yeah, I need to watch this because I really, really need to see something where Otangelo does well and doesn't frustrate the hell out of me. Because what I've seen recently from Otangelo, I'm not sure if I ever really want to talk to him or listen to him again. other than to pick maybe focus on a few things and attack his arguments, but I really am kind of done with the guy.
I think watch Otangelo's debate on modern day debate is have they found Noah's Ark?
This one was quite calm and people weren't interrupting. And I told them before it started, like we're going easy, going with the time. So allotted time for the opening statement. If they need a few more extra minutes, it's not a problem. So and they both agreed. So that worked out well because a lot of the time people get cut off. So nobody was. I think it was good.
That's what's really killing me is the amount of interruption he does, and complaining about people.
Can I finish?
Yeah, it's just, oh my God, it just.
But Speed, if you do this, please also critique anything Godless Granny has said, because she appreciates the feedback. She welcomes it, and I know she would really like to hear it.
Okay, I'll try to take a look at it.
Yeah, so be open on both in this. But I suspect you'll find more with Otangelo because he's presenting his usual positions, of course.
Right. I will take a look.
One of the fun parts in this was that Godless Granny said, and Otangelo talks about the so-called Noah's Ark that they found, and then Godless Granny says, "Is there anything that points to it being a boat?" And you can see Otangelo struggle because literally nothing in that find points to a boat. It points to a wooden structure.
Yeah.
Not to a boat. But obviously, what else could it be if it's so large? Well, and Godless Granny at some point says,
a building?
A large building?
Yeah.
And you can see him struggle.
Never seen one of those before.
Yeah,
it's
a large building.
Yeah.
Go figure.
I think she did fantastic.
You know, large warehouses were made of wood back before they were made of steel.
Well, wait a minute. Large buildings have to have a designer, right?
No, hold on. So now I have to correct you. What about the grain silos in Egypt? They're made of stone, and they're still here today. We call them pyramids, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, they had to have a designer, right?
Yeah, God.
How do we know those weren't boats?
Well, I know that one. The boat was found in front of the pyramid. That's how we know they were boats.
Well, there were boats buried around the pyramid. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, how you doing? So remarkable performance last night by you. The calm that you exhibited during that entire 7-hour stink show.
Oh wow! Yeah, that was pretty crazy,
wasn't it?
Yeah, I hope you were drinking.
I was. I did. I'm drinking right now. So
because if you were sober through that, I would really, really feel bad.
Yeah. That. So I mean, as much as I love Gur. I love going on his stream, but all that kind of personal bickering just seems like a big waste of time. But you know,
it was a coalescence of like the very worst of of the community out here in one spot, focused in one spot, and just allowed to just go at each other. And I was like, holy shit!
I don't care for the personal bickering either. I also don't like the when people get into disgusting topics. I tend to tune out at those points.
Yeah.
I feel that's directed at me, but I don't know which one he's talking about.
No, it's not directed at you. No, Scott, you're cool. No.
Well,
hello, Orge.
That was directed at Speed, as usual.
Oh, okay, I can understand that.
Yeah, well, from what I saw last night, okay, Gur showed me everything that I don't want my channel to be. And I think all in one person. I thank him for that, basically. And I don't give a shit if I got to quit the weather report or whatever I got to do. I don't want this shit to turn into that shit, anymore. Yeah. And I think it all involves that remove button that pops over people that try to get into the room, and that has everything to do with the quality of your streams.
And to complete the compliment sandwich that Randolph started, I really love Gur's channel too. I really like him as a person.
I do like him, yeah.
And I do appreciate his question style. He does ask good questions, and he does a great job of drawing insight out of people and a little bit of their personalities out too.
Yeah, and he normally platforms a group of people that tend to, have really interesting discussions. And he's done that over and over again, and he's growing as a result of it. And I really think his streams have a bit of magic to them. But last night, nope. Nope. That was enough. Oh my God. I don't know. I have PTSD yet from this. And I just tuned in for like 3 minutes here and there, and that was all it took. So. I don't know. Maybe I didn't get the whole feel for it, right? I didn't get the whole feel. I don't know. Judging harshly. But
Orge graded all the kids. I'm glad you got that grading done. Kids.
Oh my God.
I've been grading for a few hours, so I'm glad I got done before I had to go to bed.
Now, when you're done grading, do you sometimes come away a little angry and irritable and fearful?
No. The kind of classes I teach, I like to make assignments that the students find interest in the subject, because I tend to teach like introductory level stuff since I don't have a PhD. So my assignments are fun, so they're fun to grade.
Cool.
Are you still doing biology classes?
No, God, no. I just got them grading a bunch of physics stuff. So.
I got a friend who's a high school or a college professor, and it seems like his entire life is grading.
Yeah,
I find that very hard to believe. Speed.
That his entire life is grading.
No,
That you've got a friend.
Yeah,
Why,
I
do you
got that one, Peter.
Well, that I got a friend. Yeah.
Why? You think he's not that bad?
Okay, he was my teacher. Maybe I could call him my professor.
That's better. That's better.
Yeah, he probably doesn't.
Get yourself a good
doesn't
TA.
like
That's
Probably
what
doesn't
TAs.
like
That's what
yeah.
TAs are for.
Yep.
Yeah,
Or 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, but he is so into what he does that he feels that he has to personally like explore every student's ideas. He teaches philosophy and logic, and he works so hard. It's just incredible to listen to his life. I feel bad for him. Look forward to
physics, Jorge.
Yeah, I'm adjuncting some physics classes right now.
Y'all need to make some one of those things that throw rocks and things, catapults. Y'all need to have your
I
physics
do.
class make catapults.
Depending on what type of class it is, sometimes that's the final for lab.
Yeah.
You know, if it's like a physics 1 where you don't leave Newtonian physics, I signed that like 3 months before the end of the semester, and they gotta build it, and usually it's like a hallway sized one, so
Like
you gotta throw it like 2 meters, you know.
Yeah, like a trebuchet.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Love that.
If you teach physics, do you teach kids how to scientifically shoot a rubber band and how to make an airplane?
Well, I don't think I have like lectures about rubber bands, but I have had students do stuff like that for labs because my labs is very open ended. So
you have to go on a trip on a teaching trip to Repton, Alabama, I think.
Oh yeah, I was excited because I thought you were going to say European city. Alabama just took it away from me. No,
Yeah, I really just
don't want to go to Alabama.
I was hoping you were going to say Canada.
There's a fantastic science center there. It's in the middle of a complex called Dinosaur Adventureland, and that's where they teach you those most important physical.
I'll see Erica's review on it in a few days here, and then I'll make my call.
I've heard that one's highly overrated.
Are we going to talking about going to Dinosaur Adventureland and shooting rubber bands at the staff?
Yep.
I'm down for that.
No, hold on, Brick. You can't shoot at staff because staff will body slam you even if you're 11.
Just tell them you're a First Amendment auditor. That should cause them to back off.
Yeah.
First Amendment auditor, right?
Yeah, they're calling them frauditors now.
Oh wow.
First Amendment auditor. I've never heard that phrase.
Oh my god.
You're so lucky.
These are slobs that go around with a video camera and just creepily record everything going on in a place where it's not public land.
Randolph, you don't like First Amendment auditors?
The ones that I see online, no.
Well, now there's a panel called Audit the Auditors, where somebody is auditing the audit of the First Amendment auditors. So,
that'd be funny.
I mean, I find that completely fascinating. And while I acknowledge that there are those that are just doing it for clicks and they're like trying to antagonize the police, I would say that a large majority of them, like the interactions they have with police, that the police are completely inappropriate in their actions, that they don't understand the law, that
so
that's
sounds legitimate. Most of the ones I'm seeing online are the first group you mentioned. People like Earl David Warden and a whole bunch of others like that who
I like him. Like
my
News Now.
My favorite is Cow Patty.
You don't like David Warden?
Yeah, Cow Patty. Oh, he's a serial rapist. He got convicted for that.
Really?
He's currently under investigation for raping his own daughter.
Oh
yeah, now that so it's a second conviction coming up, it looks like.
Yeah, he's going to be convicted for that as well.
So the first one he did. Now, Jason, what you need to know about Earl David Warden is what he did is he pretended to be a police officer. He arrested women and then he raped them. He put cuffs on them, put them in his car, took them somewhere.
Shut up.
No, and then he raped them with his gun. And apparently left them out in the street, sometimes with the cuffs still on.
Oh my god.
I remember reading about that, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
No, I'm not kidding. If you look him up, there's a sheriff talks all about him. It's really quite bad stuff. Yeah, he's bad news. That's
the trial on.
And I think I suspect the only reason he's doing First Amendment auditing stuff, police auditing, he called it originally, is because he's trying to get revenge on the police.
He's got an axe to grind.
I don't think he likes the Houston police chief or the sheriff. So,
not at all, because that guy was pretty important in getting him convicted.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
Well, fun fact is that if he does audits, he usually does them somewhere else, not as in his own hometown. That's another thing. At least not lately.
And he's been getting other people to do it, like Cow Patty, I guess, is the nickname that Peter just mentioned. And he's trying to get people to go out there and be confrontational with the police.
Yeah.
And some of these First Amendment auditors, they're here in Canada claiming they have First Amendment rights. And then the police are telling them, you don't have First Amendment rights here.
Well, that's, yeah.
We have a different constitution than you do.
There are some that are doing that in the UK, believe it or not.
Claiming First Amendment rights?
Yes, First Amendment auditors in the UK. But obviously, all of those are sovereign citizens as well. So they're
we don't have amendments in our constitution. We have a different system here. So when they talk amendments, it just doesn't make sense here.
Have you ever heard of a Long Island audits guy? Yeah.
A what?
His name is he goes by Long Island Audits. I
think that came up.
He does audits in the Connecticut, New York area. So whatever. I find that stuff fascinating because I think that the police typically are extremely ill-informed in terms of the law. And so
when the fuck is that? What don't you think the first thing they would teach police on the first day on their job was the goddamn law?
Well,
what they can and can't do.
That's such a dumb sentence.
You're going to be surprised.
This one thing that is the law, and then you can know the law. That's a terrible dumb sentence.
Police.
Jason, are you familiar with the channels? One is called Radical, and the other one's called Schrodinger's cat.
No.
If you're not subscribed to Van Balen, you're missing the best channel.
That's another one.
Right.
Yeah. Those three. I'm on all those three, watching them, and they've got these idiot so-called self-appointed police auditors or First Amendment auditors out there, and some of them are going into private businesses and saying it's their right to film, and then they don't answer questions, and the police come, they refuse to give their ID, stuff like that.
They get arrested.
And going into post offices and then telling them that they've got the right to film because of Poster 7.
Yeah,
and
that's
then if you read
topic.
Poster 7, it specifically says that you need permission to film.
Yeah.
Is that where they had those two ladies that were they tried to arrest the post office? They called the police.
Why are we talking about internet Karens?
I don't know.
It's funny.
Because they're funny.
I prefer creationists, but okay, I guess so.
Speaking of internet,
this is a similar kind of stupid. But their big problem, they have trouble understanding the difference between public space and publicly accessible space, because on private property you have publicly accessible space. That doesn't automatically make it public like the sidewalk.
The topic of First Amendment auditors and understanding these complex legal issues and is it immutable destiny? It actually does have an association with the aspects of science, because aspects of creationists are essentially doing the same thing with science. They're finding these niche areas where they can cause confusion and be science isn't clear on a topic, therefore God. And so First Amendment auditors are hey, there's confusion around these particular issues. I'm going to exploit that,
And what they typically mean by confusion is, I don't know anything about this, and I think my common knowledge about the thing is going to dictate how it actually reads.
But they take advantage of we were talking about police. The fact of the matter is, police arrest people. The prosecuting attorneys evaluate the case and determine whether they're the ones that have the legal expertise. The police are law enforcement, but they're the first line of defense. They're not experts in the law. You would think they would have some knowledge of law, but we know for a fact that our law enforcement in the United States, they have minimal training, so
they are smarter than you think, though. I mean, if I were to get investigated by the police, blow the hell up.
You know what? I don't think I think most police agencies are not that smart. I don't think most police officers are that
here
smart.
in Canada, the studying the criminal code and our charter rights are an important part of becoming a police officer. And they do have to go to court. What they'll do is they'll schedule their court date to have a whole bunch of different cases on the same day. So, but it's and so they know court procedures and stuff. So there is kind of ongoing study of it, but they're definitely not at the level of a lawyer. So, but they know for their job what they need.
So if you have somebody come into your business and do a First Amendment audit on you in the United States, of course, can't you turn around and do a Second Amendment audit on them?
It's a private facility.
I would do that,
That would be a good one.
Oh, that's hilarious. Huh.
Yeah.
From freedom to guns. Yes.
Are these the same people?
Oops.
Are these the same people who think that the United States is a corporation?
Yeah, pretty much.
Those are the sovereign citizens or the Moorish people. And what they do is they order a packet online that they can give out to the police, because 9 out of 10 times they don't have an idea what they're talking about. But that's mostly about the right to travel. So people like that don't need to register their vehicles, don't need to have driver's licenses, don't need to have car insurance, because it's a right to travel. And as long as you're not traveling commercially, you don't need that.
I saw one video of a guy this morning telling the police officer he's just a traveler, so he's not a driver.
Yeah. I'm not driving. I'm traveling. I'm not
traveling. He's only a driver if there's passengers or he's doing commercial stuff. He's not doing either, so he's only a traveler. So none of this stuff the police are trying to do to get him to nail him for speeding is applicable to him.
Come on, guys. We all know that, like, when we say the police are smart, like, the police are smart in terms of being able to get what they want. So they're I wouldn't call that smart. I would call it devious. That they have an ability to, particularly like with driving. Like,
I don't know.
I
would call it specializing.
That's the case.
People need to be specialized in their job.
A little disclaimer here. Immutable is from Florida. It's not actually part of the United States. So.
Hey, I'm just look.
Wait, we got Florida man on the panel? We got Florida man on the panel?
Let Immutable talk. I want to hear what Immutable
No, he's in Florida. Why? Why
catch any alligators lately?
Look, people in law enforcement are allowed to lie to people in order to get confessions and stuff.
Is that correct? Is that? Do you think that's like appropriate?
Whether or not I think it's appropriate doesn't influence its legality.
Well, I know, but legality.
Negotiation now.
Oh, fuck, are we going to do this again, Immutable?
Interrogation. You're talking interrogation tactics now.
Yeah, I mean, to get.
Yeah, but like we're talking about a sense of fairness.
That's the Reed technique, which is corrupt and bad.
Legality and correct and
not
fairness
outlawed, but not used anymore.
Are different. I mean, like, you would think that legality follows some aspect of fairness. That, like, it's like, to me, it seems.
Why would you make that assumption?
Well, I mean, I think it should. I mean like,
do you think that the laws that are passed are meant to treat all people as equal and fair?
Chris, Immutable, you and I just had this conversation
in some
by
respect.
telephone a while ago.
I don't think the majority of like laws that exist, especially for businesses, are intended like to encourage like egalitarian behavior or are aiming to strive for equality or fairness in any kind of way.
Well, I mean, the whole premise of the law is to be able to provide a set of an aspect of balance. I mean, we're not like, certainly there are laws that have some skewness in terms of them, but I mean, I think this is the whole aspect of stare decisis.
Right, but the balance. Yes, they uphold the balance, but the balance for who?
See, that's the whole point of the veil of ignorance by John Rawls.
I agree with you.
To make legislation that's better.
I mean, you're essentially Immutable. You're essentially making the argument that the law is not really fair.
Well, it's not fair to the citizens. It's fair to the people who make the laws and who have power to change and legislate over law.
I totally agree. And not only that the interpretation of the law is skewed to those in power.
Oh, sure.
So like when a cop is like, hey, you on the street, you look suspicious. I want to see your ID. And somebody's like, wait a second, you're not suspecting me of any crime. This is not a stop and ID state. I'm not required to give you my ID. And they're like, wait a second, that's obstruction of justice. I'm going to arrest you. That's just a manipulation of the law to get what they want because they're insulted that you didn't respect them. This is the shit I hate about cops. There's a lot of cops like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's cops that are just fucking assholes. I mean, I think there's a lot of cops that I know are actually fairly decent people. But I mean, yeah, there are cops that are just pieces of shit and
but you don't find that just in policing, Icarus. Immutable. You find this in all kinds of different industries. Also, private industry. This happens all the time too. It's down to individuals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the police force is the only one that like they have guns and they can like take your rights away without
I think with the police force, I'm sorry to interrupt you as well.
That's fine. Go for it.
But I think with the police force, it's actually more dangerous in the sense that, like, in the sense that, like, crimes that occur, like, with police, like, internal to police, like, say, like, sexual allegations and stuff like that, it is significantly harder for people to have collaboration with those kind of people, because those types of individuals, like, especially, like, sergeants, like, in police force and stuff, they're seen as people that have power. And it's very hard, like, to prosecute them as if you're in comparison to like if you're a business person or some random Joe.
That's fucked.
Because unfortunately, people that are in that type of power and that have that kind of stature, right? They're entitled to certain levels of protection and certain levels of scrutiny by the law.
You mean like what's it called? The qualified immunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that this shit is fucked. I'm sorry, man. Like, where they're like,
it's not just that, but it's like the fact, like, if you have that kind of ranking as a police officer or something like that, right? Because people view you as having that kind of stature, it's less likely for people to report you. Like during the initial and most important phases, like that that investigation needs to take place.
I mean, people are human. Like, and naturally, like, I mean, I can see where, like when the comment, it's a fine line between a cop and a criminal. I believe that because I think lots of people become cops because they're like, you know what? I can have dominance over somebody. I like that feeling of being in control and telling people what to do. And those are the exact kind of people that you don't want as a police officer, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, and some people just do it for the paycheck, and they just do it because it's easy. It's relatively easy work. It's a nice, secure job. It's good benefits.
Do you guys know Pat Lowinger online?
Oh yeah,
I do know him.
He's a former cop, so if you ever interface with him, you ought to ask him what his perspectives on this. I'm sure he would have a fascinating perspective because he,
I mean, I think easy is obviously a relative term, but I mean, I think some people take it as being.
It's not an easy job.
No. I mean it kind of depends where. It depends, like, where you are in terms of, like, ranking with the police force, I imagine, too. Yeah. Like, if you're just doing patrol or stuff like that, okay, that's probably not the hardest shit in the world. But if you're involved, like, aiding in crime scene investigation or actually involved, like, with internal affairs of the police department, yeah, probably a bit more involved as a job.
So, Brainbug, this is just a quick aside. The proboscis on that thing stood up after it unthawed. So
it stood up?
Yeah, it's sticking out from the body now. So I sealed them in clay so I can, like, fiddle them around and anyway.
Yeah. I'm actually
renamed for the bug report.
The bug report.
I think, unfortunately, we have to, like, in terms of, like, scandals and stuff, we have to talk about legality instead of ethics, because ethics is something that varies wildly from person to person.
Oh,
I mean, it has its place, but no two people are going to agree entirely on the same ethical system.
I wouldn't say talk about legality instead of ethics. I would say talk about both together.
Yeah. Right, but the thing is, legality doesn't take its influence from ethics.
But it depends on how the legal system is structured. But that is true about certain laws.
I think he'd be very hard pressed to make an argument to me, a compelling argument that legality and ethics are something that are inherently intertwined or linked to each other.
Murder is illegal, right? Murder is illegal.
It's necessary for a better society, though.
Yeah, I think that's a stretch to be to separate legality and ethics. I mean, I understand there's a division, but legality has its formations in ethics in some respects.
I would say it's legal for certain people. I mean, black op agents, for instance, and people working with the CIA going out and
Jason, I would say that the law has its foundation in specific ethical standards, not ethics in general.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, I think it's immoral for certain people, in the way that we view it. I mean, I think we view people like snipers and black ops who are out there, searching for people of interest and taking out people of high, people that are very dangerous. Well, it's fine if they're murdered because they're the bad guys.
Use that as an example. I mean, we have is that actually within our legal system?
Hey, my brother's here.
I mean, is it illegal? Is it a legal policy, a legal statement we should be pushing that, certain members and people of the United States have the permission to kill, or are licensed to kill certain people? Because that's almost what an assassin is.
That's James Bond stuff now.
I mean,
license to kill.
Yeah, I only think British
I mean, you're protected by the law.
Depends on where you live. Here in Holland, you're not.
I mean, here in
Holland, if a cop shoots someone and kills someone, there's going to be a murder investigation done by someone else, not the cops.
It's similar here in Canada, although the police will do the investigation, but there will be third parties involved now. But in the amount of gun violence here is very low. I would think that in the U.S., because there's a lot more gun violence in general, that it's more likely that you're going to see police doing shootings as well.
Immutable's talking about a military person that works for
military personnel.
Yeah, that goes to another country and kills somebody at the request of the United States military. That they have some exemption from murder and being prosecuted legally because they are with the military.
I just want to note that we're moving from policing to military now.
Well, I mean, if we're going to talk about law, right? I mean, law should apply to all people who are within the province of law, right? I mean,
generally does. Military law is a little different. Many countries have military laws that require security clearance to access. The public can't access certain military laws.
I mean, we acknowledge that, given the fact that we live in a society of nations that have each nation having differing laws, and that we have wars between nations, that military laws and the guidelines around military are different than civilian laws. That I mean, I would agree with you that they're both, that you could say that's still murder, but
for example, if something's a threat to national defense, it doesn't matter what your age are. If you're a threat to national defense, you're getting investigated in the same context. Whereas in regular civilian life, the age is an important factor. If you're underage, it's a different system, a different approach.
Do you think that people should be entitled to research or to be able to have access to what military law is and what certain aspects of military law state?
Well, most of it that is the case. Most of it is publicly accessible. I don't know what's in the stuff that's classified, but it would be interesting to know. But we'd need to know what the reason is for that. I'm not comfortable with that. I think laws should all be accessible, but I don't know what's in those laws.
That's all public. You could find out
sure.
But now what actual operations are happening are classified, but the actual law around, as an example, if you were in Afghanistan and
there's laws,
you
killed
somebody
in some countries.
You're a military person, you just shot somebody that was an Afghani, you can get fucking prosecuted for that and court-martialed and go to jail.
You can. Yeah.
Yeah. So
on the other hand, you can abduct somebody in a foreign country, take them to a safe house, torture the fuck out of them, murder them, and still get away with it.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
you're talking from personal experience here.
Well, I mean, I'm saying the US had a habit of doing that a little while ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it brings up a good topic, which we don't have to talk about, but the aspect of like the U.S. military can be like, hey, these people in this other country, we see them as a threat. We're going to go snatch them up. We're going to go put them in jail. We're not going to bring them in front of a court. We're not going to give them any due process. They're not United States citizens. They have no legal rights. We can do whatever the fuck we want with them. We can just put them in jail and they can never see the light of day and never talk to a judge. And we can waterboard them to get information because we can.
But didn't we slide a bit off topic here?
Sorry.
There's an important difference here in the laws. Like in Canada, the way our freedoms, rights and freedoms, our charter rights and human rights are stated, they're not just applicable to Canadian citizens. They're applicable to every person in Canada. The exception would be democratic rights for voting and stuff. But most of our laws are not specifically just for citizens, for everybody who's within our borders. So I find there's a lot of stuff in the U.S. I don't know, but I get the impression that a lot of it is specifically just for citizens.
No, a lot of it is going to apply to anybody within the borders. I mean, murder and things like that.
This is definitely going off topic, and if we don't want to go there, we don't have to. Fine. But I agree with Gandhi's statement that when he was asked about democracy, it's a good idea for a system.
Jason, can I add to the thing that you just mentioned, that the Dutch, the incredible Dutch, have invented a court where we can actually convict people like the people you just described.
The Hague?
Yep.
Yeah, The Hague, yeah. Good old Hague.
And it has happened.
The older I grow and the more I start paying attention to the world, the more I realize this whole American pro-democracy mantra is probably not the best idea.
When you say world, are you then does that mean that you're looking outside of all 50 states, or?
Yeah, to some extent, yeah.
Yeah, because in the US, we've got World Series of this sport, World Series of that sport. That usually involves all 50 states.
And not the rest of the world.
Yeah,
I mean, the weird thing is,
means something different in the US than
we don't care about the rest of the world.
No, we don't. I mean,
although weirdly, it does include Japan sometimes.
Why do some Americans say there's 52 states?
Yeah,
we're dumbasses.
The weird thing too, and I'm surprised about this. Well, not surprised, but more disappointed. The U.S. prides itself most on being an entertainment industry. Right?
Well,
we certainly have a very good educational institution.
They did in the Second World War, because you had the what was it? The Asian theater and the African theater.
But the U.S. did provide entertainment to the world when Donald Trump was elected. Now that was a horror movie, but it was still
he's still getting entertainment.
And also, the biggest worldwide restaurant is owned by a clown.
Yeah,
what?
That too.
The weird thing too is we still have idiots out there who still think Donald Trump is president.
Shadow president, right?
Yeah,
and Simon, as a matter of fact, I don't sell any merch, but I do design merch. That particular clown is on some of my merch.
Correct. I have a feeling you're leading up to a joke here, Peter.
And there's actually one T-shirt that you can get for free. So visit scientistmel.com/shop and go look for the Blocked By series and then Blocked By McBoomer.
Have you made any Earl David Warden merchandise? I'm just curious.
No.
Oh my God. I just Googled him and that Patrick Roth guy. Wow. Thanks for that info. I appreciate that, Randolph. Yeah.
Patrick Roth is cow patty, isn't he?
Oh, he's looking at Earl David Warden, I think.
No, but he also saw Patrick Roth. That is the guy that Radical refers to as cow patty, I think.
Yeah, Radical. He's hilarious.
And who's the fat guy? The one that you mentioned in a DM group somewhere, and then I responded, and you said, "You know this guy?" And I said, "I just watched a video 10 minutes ago about him."
What's his name? Is his name Glenn or something like that?
Glenn Cereal.
That's it. Yeah. Not cereal as in breakfast cereal. No, he's not that healthy.
No.
Cereal as in killer.
I have a feeling
not that smart.
Cereal.
I have a feeling
not that smart.
Speed doesn't want to talk about any of this shit. He wants to talk about other stuff.
Well, Speed wants to talk about things that don't get us into political hot water.
Oh, I mean, we're not talking about anything too.
If we're not going to talk about politics, we can still talk about Trump, can't we?
We're not talking about if 9/11 was an inside job or any of the fun stuff. I mean, we're just still on.
I'm looking at my bug. I that proboscis actually was still down. I just managed to bring it up, and it's got a real sharp needle at the end of it. So, anyway, so what's happening?
I'm not sure you should be boasting about that.
Oh, nothing much.
You got a bug that's doing drugs? What? How does a bug get to a needle?
Don't let it fly airplanes.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, I mean,
does anybody go on Discord? They go on the it's politics and religion channel.
Yeah, I left that server.
Yeah, who doesn't? Who doesn't?
I'd probably be banned the moment I join.
I've noticed like Darth is on there a lot more, and Jay Robin.
Is it his channel?
Yeah.
I had a conversation with Darth Dawkins on there just a few days ago, and Skylar had it on his channel.
Oh, you did, yeah. Skylar's been running like those rooms recently.
He's having fun.
Yeah, it's not Darth's channel, but of course the owner. I mean, I can't remember who it is offhand. Likes to have Darth on, and of course, is giving him muting powers on cross.
Probably because Darth brings in a big audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah,
because
I hate that.
Well, because Darth is an OG Lulz cow. I mean,
what are we looking at here?
We're looking at a bug. It's a bug.
It's a bug.
Yeah,
it's a stink bug, and that's its proboscis right there. The needle on the end of it.
I love how Speed always is really specific when he puts up pictures like this. I mean, ask him what it is.
Can you show us the rest of the picture of the bug?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Let's see. Let me zoom it down. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
And here's the other part of them. Let's see. Where the hell is it? There's the.
All I see are varying shades of blue.
There's the top of them. And let me turn down the light.
They're usually green. I see them around our yard in the summertime sometimes. What are these?
Brain bug? Is he still?
Brain bug had to go.
No, brain bug.
Yeah, it's like
our resident bug person is gone.
Okay, so this is an invasive species that's kind of taking over for like stink bugs.
Oh,
apparently. What the hell? I can't get them to focus.
Did you say
so what are these bugs? What are these bugs known for? What do they do?
I'm not entirely sure. I have not read up on a brain bug. Know more about it than I did.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Anyway,
you didn't say aphid, did you?
No, it's a stink bug of some sort.
Okay.
But I'm having trouble getting my microscope to focus on the damn thing.
There you go. That's better.
Not better yet. It's got to get a lot better
than before.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Getting better.
Keep going up. We got to keep going up. Okay. One second.
I love it when this happens. I always imagine that we're looking through Speed's eyes and he's drunk.
Oh, here we go. Speed.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
Thank you very much, Peter and Immutable.
Hey, I'm just playing with the crowd, okay? Blame Peter.
Okay, there he is. And this is different than the native species because of this triangle down here. I don't think you can't see my cursor, but on the bottom of the bug or the back of the bug, there's that lighter colored triangle.
Okay.
That's one of the differences, and I guess it's invasive. I found 2 of them, and I threw them in the freezer. But anyway, that's what she looks like.
Wow.
And I will learn more about it after I have some salsa and watch Netflix for a couple hours and get some sleep. So
you throw them in the freezer. You throw them in the freezer. Then the next thing you say is, and then I have some salsa and watch a movie.
It's all connected. It's all connected.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yep.
It's interesting.
Now what does this raccoon want? He's looking at me through.
Probably wants food.
Do you want food, raccoon? No, I already fed them today. You guys saw me feed them, right? So
no, I deny that claim.
That's okay. I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I'm not going to show the video anymore because you're going to get a strike again.
Well, Immutable, ask your lawyer if you should be denying that.
Well, do raccoons have rights now? Do I need to speak to the head counsel for raccoons?
They have ethical rights. Ethical rights.
Oh, ethical rights. Okay.
Ethical rights. Yeah.
So who should I go to?
I'm still learning, Speed. So Florida Man has a lawyer.
Florida Man is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. If ever you're bored, all you have to do is go to Google, type in Florida Man, and see what comes up. You'll be entertained for weeks.
Look, he can't hurt Florida more than Florida's hurt itself. Okay.
No, you can't.
By the way, there are 50 states, right?
Well, so far.
Well, we're gonna lose a few. Texas and Florida.
Texas has wanted to secede from Florida. Texas has wanted to secede from the United States as long as it's been a state.
And Florida. We want them both.
No, I don't know about Florida.
Well, Florida ain't gonna make a lot of difference anymore. It's just gonna be an ocean. So.
Well, I mean, it's almost there. I mean, we're surrounded by fucking water.
Yep.
Also, I'm a foreigner. I don't know things, but isn't Florida the state where only old people live?
It's a state where mostly retirement people live. It's a lot of
old,
99% of true crime. 99% of documentaries.
You have to be proud to be living in the state where people want to go and die.
Really popular for sex offending, great for tourism, and also just randomly, a lot of true crime documentaries feature people that are from Florida and crimes that take place in Florida. So yeah,
next year, Florida is going to be put on the world map.
It really?
Yeah,
boy.
They're going to have a Formula One race in Miami. And I'm surprised Simons didn't know this.
Sorry, I was looking at the link for Atheist Appreciation Day. How they've slightly got the definition wrong. Cough.
What?
No, I'm joking.
What kind of brother are you?
I'm joking. I'm the funny brother.
We just recently adopted each other as brothers for Simus and I.
Yeah. Well, we look very similar. So.
I love it how Atheist Appreciation Day comes exactly a day after World Animal Day.
Oh, really?
There has to be a connection.
Well, that's cool.
I wonder what the connection can be.
I don't know.
World Animal Day.
Well, let's see. People aren't by definition.
Hold on.
We're actually
from the responses that I just got.
One more response.
Does none of you know about World Animal Day?
No. I'm celebrating World Animal Day. We're having a barbecue in the garden.
I thought that was the day that your girlfriend brought you scones.
Yeah.
Here in Holland, it's celebrated, so all dogs get an extra treat on October 4th.
Oh dear!
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
so you're gonna have to get some extra treats for your raccoons on the 4th.
Is that the day that all married husbands send their wives on vacation for a few weeks?
of course, dogs famously being meat eaters.
For me, that's usually the entire year, and I'm only allowed in October 4th. But that might just be me.
Goddamn right.
By the way, immutable. I've been breaking my brain. What was the opposite of immutable destiny? I found out yesterday and I completely forgot.
I don't know.
Mutable origin?
No. Something was said yesterday, and I responded to that. Well, that's the opposite of immutable destiny, and immutable agreed with me on that. So I thought,
No, probably something like mutable.
I was just trying to answer your question. Is it mutable origin?
Or
No.
mutable history.
Mutable
Maybe.
history. Okay.
My brain My brain just kind of shut off after Knock came in and what transpired with that situation.
Knock came in.
Oh, you don't know?
Yeah.
Knock came
No.
into Ger's stream, like near the end, and just blew up.
Well, again, for what?
you
For what
missed some fantastic content.
Oh yeah.
Knock, Cat, Will, and Smokey.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
It
no wonder
was
he's
like
blowing up then.
the collection
really
of
wanna-
doom.
You really want to see some fun? Look at Knock's channel for videos he's recently put out, and go to the comment section.
Oh, he gets
Yeah.
great comments.
Hmm.
Oh, look
Oh,
at
he
that raccoon.
does. He got a pretty decent one from me today, so yeah.
That raccoon looks giant there because of the background.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a
it's
great
a big
picture.
one. Yeah,
Can you
he's-
send me that picture? I'll see if I can make a meme out of it.
Okay. I will.
Some raccoon ghost thing or something.
Yeah, he
Do you
stands up.
have a minute to talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
Oh
Nope.
no,
Nope.
Not my Lord and
That's-
Savior.
Don't play the Jehovah's Witness card. No.
I'm my own
going
minister.
That's what I would put on it. That was my first guess.
Oh,
Hi, do you have a few minutes to talk about Jesus Christ?
Oh,
Oh God.
Our Lord and Savior. Don't forget our Lord and Savior.
Our
That
Lord
part's
and
important.
Savior.
I wanted to say that guy that you brought on that was like what's your response guy?
Yeah, that's the one that Dr. Josh has been channeling for
my
3
God.
days.
Yeah. Oh.
He's been on with a bunch of people, like including T Jump. He did a whole like hour with T Jump, where T Jump was like, "You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Stop saying. I'm gonna mute you if you don't stop saying. What's your response?"
Right. I told him that too.
Yeah.
Dr. Josh absolutely loved him because he came on Jay's stream earlier today, impersonating that guy.
Yeah.
And Jay was, for a moment, he was thinking, "What the fuck is this idiot on about?" And then the voice slightly gave it away.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Hey, Randolph. Randolph, what are the first letters of your email address again?
RAN. Do you? I'll just put it in the private chat. For
No,
you.
actually, I don't have you on RAN. I have you as something else, like the organization that you.
Canadian Atheist.
Canadian.
I just put it in the private chat for you.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
Right. So what's this guy's name anyway? Just to fill me in.
Is it Sky out?
Oh, the guy we were talking about. I don't remember what his. God, I can't remember what his YouTube channel is. Do you remember what it is, Speed? It's like he's.
Oh, you mean the crazy guy?
Yeah.
I just had it up. What the hell is the name of it?
It's like Bible something or other.
Let's see. It is called the. So let me scroll to the top of this long list of both biblical account for the win. FTW.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He is. Oh my God, that guy. Oh shit, I can't.
Yeah. He's
I
trolling
can't.
for Jesus. Trolling for Jesus.
I don't know if some of these people are actually trolling. I mean, I think some people, like Otangelo, for instance, are probably people that have come into the community and thought, "Oh yeah, this argument's going to be great. Atheists have never heard this before."
I think that guy's got. I think that guy's got a mental problem. Honestly,
I think all creationists.
No.
You can't say that about believers.
Well,
I'm guessing. Do we have P Mars in the chat?
I don't know.
Simos, you mean I'm not supposed to say it? I'm just saying what we all think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think that. But anyway, that's another story.
Okay, Simos, play the holier than thou game.
Well, if you like, I don't mind. I was going to say something else though, which is, yeah, what was that EA guy, EA show? Who's the guy on that?
Oh yeah, I don't know where he went.
Khalil Allah, I think he calls himself.
Oh,
Justin or Khalil Allah.
Yeah. Now I started a conversation with him, and I said, I said, oh come on now, we've all heard this stuff before, and he went, you've never heard this before. You can't have heard. You don't. And I said, well, come on. I've been around. I've heard most apologetics.
Yeah, I had
yours is going to be any different,
I had Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
right.
I cut you off. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So I said, okay, well, let me tell you what you're going to do then. You're going to do this, you're going to do that, and then you're going to end with this, okay? And he went, you don't know me. And then he said, so to prove it, he started having a chat with somebody else, and then he did this, and he did that, and then he finished with that. And someone else went, oh, that's exactly what Simon said.
He was, I had this short conversation with him, and he asked me, and I said I know a little bit about philosophy, and the first question was to vet me was, what is being? And I'm like, nice. Okay, that is a pretty deep fucking subject there. It's just like,
I would just tell him, if somebody asked me what's being, I would just take it as a pun and explain about beans in the garden.
Yeah, beans in the garden. Yeah.
Just pretend.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to respond to that. He didn't say what's your response, but I didn't know.
He gave me. I said, so why are you a theist? And he gave me a list of philosophical arguments. Every single one of them had known to have a slight flaw, philosophical flaw. None of them were like, oh yeah, that's a solid argument. Right?
When you mean slight, are we talking about like the size of a crater impacting the planet, or the size of a meteor impacting the planet?
I've got the list around. It was like Kalam, contingency argument from contingency, and then and then modal and some modal arguments, and then I'm like, right. Do I want to go through this list? Probably not. It's
I had a similar encounter with Smokey before, because he was like, oh, well, you just reject the arguments. You just reject the good arguments. I'm like, okay, well, bring one up. Like,
here we go.
Actually,
contingency, design, free will, sustainability, the argument of necessity, which is the same, of course, as contingency.
Just throwing everything out the window.
Yeah, just throw it all in there.
I think the Kalam is actually a decent argument.
Oh, come on.
No, I think it's a simple argument. I just don't agree with its conclusion.
Okay.
Considering both premises are wrong.
No, I mean, it's
an argument from ignorance, but yeah, okay.
When did Scott escape?
I don't see
everything.
About an hour ago.
What's the first premise is that all things
everything which begins to exist has a cause.
Okay, but that could be flawed.
Yeah.
And we know for a fact that it is flawed because there are things that come into existence that need a cause.
And we have there's lots of hypotheses around the beginnings of the universe where time doesn't function in the same way as what we would expect. And so it's not unreasonable to think that time doesn't function in the same way. So our interpretations of like a linear aspects of cause and effect don't function in the same way at the beginnings of the universe as what they do now.
There's a simpler way of saying it, which is, do you know everything that exists?
No, I mean, but what things I do know.
So it's an argument from ignorance, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, right, there should be a reason why, if you're saying things, you would have to give a counterexample, right? Because typically, when we think of things that existing, they have a cause as to why they exist.
That's a fallacy. Just because I can't give a counterexample doesn't mean that your version is true.
No, but the thing is, why should I entertain your proposition?
Because it's a fallacy. It's an argument from ignorance. Do you know everything that exists? You said no.
Why do I need to know?
From ignorance.
Okay.
Because your claim is everything that begins to exist, right? Or everything that begins to exist? Everything that exists has a cause, right?
No, everything that begins to exist, because otherwise they can't slip God in.
Yeah, okay. So everything that begins to exist has a cause, right? So if you don't know everything that begins to exist, then you can't make that claim.
Exactly.
Or you're not justified to believe the claim is true, at least anyway.
Well, I mean, you could make the argument that, like abstractly, all thing, even though I don't know, I don't have knowledge of all things, that the concept, all things that exist must have a cause, are based on the fact that the premise that of this cause and effect relationship. That I think that's the weak aspect, because it would require the cause and effect aspect to be persistent at all times and places. And even saying that is kind of redundant, because saying all time, so I feel like that's a stronger position on it, but I understand, Simos, what you're saying.
Hey, can we do a little bit of
making it simple, right?
Yeah,
you're
totally.
You're making a claim that you know everything that begins to exist. So,
could we do some Buddhism bashing and Hinduism bashing to make healing flow happy?
If you like.
Well, I do actually have critiques for most of the religions I've encountered. When I'm like in the public chat, Healing Flow has just mentioned that, questioning why we're not bashing them, and it's like I do have complaints about these different religions. That the biggest problem I have with all of them is that they create this expectation that everybody should conform to their ideals, and that to me is kind of like, it's almost oppressive, and that's the problem I have with it, is they're come across as, hey, this is the way it should be, and this is the way life is, and they have the answers to life, the universe, and everything. And very often I find that it's the case that they don't. So some are more vicious than others, because they're not all the same. Buddhism is not without its problems either. Early Buddhism has quite a bit of misogyny in it. It comes from the Vedic. It has Vedic roots, just like Hinduism does, and others do. And then in Hinduism, they have the caste system, which is extremely oppressive and puts people through hardships. You're born into it, and you can't marry someone from a different sect. The lowest sect are basically slaves to all of society, and they're called untouchables. It's a big insult. There's about 4 classes in that, as far as I know. So
Randolph, I've looked at some evidence for Buddhism, and I've come to one conclusion.
Yeah,
it leads to obesity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just look at the statues.
Okay, well, the Happy Buddha is huge, but Guan Yin is slim.
There you go.
Yeah,
Guan Yin is a goddess. Happy Buddha is a god.
So it claims there are supernatural claims in Buddhism anyway.
Oh yeah,
when people say it's an atheist religion, that's not
no,
true.
No, they have deities. It's a polytheistic.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you read deeper into the text, like, okay, I was just telling Healing Flow that in Westernized religion, you're going to focus a little more on the dogma and the deities. In Buddhism, I don't think in the East, at least among intellectuals or people that know a little bit more about it, they are as focused on proving historical facts about woo and all this bullshit, or any of what is written, any of the dogma. And if you start reading between the lines, of course, if you look at Christianity from a purely spiritual, psychological aspect, and you look at the Bible that way, there's a lot in there too that's useful, right? But the problem is with taking any of this dogma and trying to reify it. And that's where it becomes a religion, and that's where it becomes a pain in the ass for everyone, and a problem. And I mean, like, you can be like, okay, I'm a Buddhist, but I have no dogmatic beliefs about any of that crap. I don't have any interest in reading any Buddhist literature or any of it. But so Buddhism obviously means something a little different than what is being written about it, any of the dogma. So
yeah. Or, I mean, the way that it's been written about is contemporaneous to what people actually believe about Buddhism in the areas that it's practiced.
No, how can you say what people actually believe about Buddhism or even Christianity for that matter? Because every person believes differently.
I mean, we can collect data on what people believe about
We
certain
can get some
things regarding
statistics.
religion. Yeah, we can
You
do these things.
You can collect data. Find me 2 Christians who think exactly the same.
Yeah,
That's not required. I mean,
oh, wait a minute. No, better yet,
Why-
find praise that I am thinking exactly the same for more than 3 hours.
why? Why should we expect that people hold entirely the same beliefs? I mean,
Because
as
if
long
they
as they're-
don't, they believe in different gods.
It's not a religion.
No, I mean, it's just a matter of interpretation.
No, it's not a matter of interpretation because Speed just mentioned the one and only person you need to go to. One day Jesus is God, and the other day he isn't. One day God is a trinity, the next day he's just a single guy.
Yeah, that's
those are mutually exclusive. So they can't be the same God, even though it's all Christian.
I don't know. I mean,
Take the Mormons. You die and you get your own planet. You become God. You get a lot of women. All you do all day is fuck to get babies, and the black babies, the bad babies get a black body, and the good babies get a white body.
Oh, the burned cookies.
It's still Christianity. You get the Catholics. Then you get the Catholics, where that will tell you need to come and confess your sins, and you get the Baptists who will say works can't get you into heaven.
I mean, in that case, though, like atheists aren't even an organized sect. Because
there's a reason I called my atheist show "Herding Cats," because that's basically what you're doing. Atheists also don't claim to be united on anything other than the lack of belief in a God.
It's not a belief system. I mean, that's the basic of atheism.
They agree on one thing: they don't believe in a God.
Other than the lack of belief in a God.
It's not
there we go.
Oh, is that Randolf?
It's back.
What, Randolph? What is that? It must be something with the internet because, StreamYard has some kind of echo correction, and every now and then your thing goes crazy. So it must be.
I'll just mute. Sorry.
No, it's not. It's not doing it anymore. It only does it
because when you start the program, you don't have that window open.
It's either that or something else. Earlier today, I was on a stream with Jay Patrick, and some old guy got in. And just kept echoing all the time. I forgot his name.
There was another device somewhere on my computer, and I had to start shutting shit down. So I just went through and started shutting applications down. And I think it was FaceTime.
I think it was your Buddha avatar that did it.
Maybe it was my Buddha avatar. Yeah, I did have a new Buddha avatar.
Yeah, you did have the God speaking in the background.
Yeah, I was Jesus trying to tell you something.
Jesus trying, maybe, I don't know. But you know, you ageist fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't go there. I hate when, God.
I hate when people are ageist fucks and they think it's okay. You know, it's like.
I mean, you have to admit, Pete, that both Jay and I were very cordial because we know dementia is a thing. We know it sets in at some point.
Oh and my God, where's this fucker's goddamn? Just fucking take care of that problem. Now we can move.
I'm only 56 years young, so I'm okay. I got enough.
The thing about it, guys. Hey, guys,
all 2 or 3 years before
you young guys who like to think about and make fun of fucking old people. Guess what? 10,000 fucking 10,000 fucking days, 10 to 15,000 days. That's all you got, and you're gonna be hobbling around. You're gonna be fucking looking for your goddamn slippers, and you're gonna be living in Florida. Oh, wait a minute, you already do.
I think we're gonna get.
You got nothing. You got nothing. It happens. It happens in the fucking blink of an eye, and you're fucking old.
And you've got no idea, Mutable, what's going to happen to your ass crack.
That too,
okay.
man,
Well,
that's
thank you
horrible.
for
Yeah.
thank you for bringing that up. I'm
No,
so
you're
glad.
very welcome. You're very welcome. Just another thing
I'm
for you to look forward to.
I seen pictures. It starts
very glad.
drooping.
Oh my God! Oh God! Not all
Thank
old
you
people
so
have
much
bodies.
for thank
Not
you for
all old
entertaining.
people have bodies like you, you rock stars who have done just way too many drugs.
Speed,
I've done way too many drugs, but
I was going to say
The rock star lifestyle.
Speed.
Never did me any harm.
Speed. Just look away for a second, and
never did.
There we go.
Thank you.
Where do we go?
Well, there we go.
Where
That's
do you go?
nightmare fuel.
Where do you go? Where do you go?
Well, there's some nightmare fuel.
I don't know where you went.
So, never
Hard to
did
say
me
where
any
you
harm,
went.
apart from those 3 or 4 STDs.
Anyway, enough of that shit. So, goddamn, Netflix and salsa. What?
I know you're a big fan of science. Many people are. I recently got to do some volunteer voice work for somebody doing science video.
Really? Oh, really?
Cosmos. Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
I'll get a link for you guys.
Yeah.
What topic? What topics?
It's starting off just talking about is there alien life in the universe?
Oh, cool.
Probably yes.
Did you do a Carl Sagan voice?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because the host wrote to me just a few minutes ago that a few people are saying that I sound a little bit like Carl Sagan in there. And I'm thinking,
brilliant.
Really? No, I got it on my show.
That's the okay. Well,
That's
okay.
great.
I don't think I'm that good. What I'm learning from this is I got to get better at presenting my voice online. But
I'm curious how they got that impression.
It was really cool, though, to actually be part of this. Like, I think it's awesome because the quality of the video is really good.
Right, but it wasn't. Let me just get this straight. It wasn't one of those "the aliens have landed on Earth" videos, was it?
No, nothing like that. This is
Just
proper
checking.
science.
Just checking.
Yeah. No, this is proper science. So I'm just going to try to find it real quick here.
A really good
Okay.
question, and it's one that it isn't science, but it's a fairly decent question that does relate to abio. Is the paradox called the Fermi or the Femi paradox? Speed probably knows what that is.
The what?
Probably easier.
The Fermi paradox.
The Femi paradox.
Enrico Fermi.
Did you say Femi?
Fermi, whatever.
Fermi. I don't know. How do you guys say it?
Fermi.
I pronounce it
There's an R in it. Fermi.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just pronounce it Femi because other people have told me no, it's not Fermi, it's Femi.
Yeah, it's pretty
Because
Femi.
the R is silent. I object to that since my name starts with an R.
Yeah.
What is it like?
Endolf.
There's the
It's
video. I
Endolf.
put it in the private and public chat. Speed.
Oh,
There you go.
great.
That's the science
You know,
video.
I was suggested this just the other day.
About the
That's
Femi
amazing.
paradox?
No. I did see a film about it the other day, yesterday.
Huh.
Something to do with it's impossible because I don't know.
That sounds so strange to me.
What's that?
Femi paradox?
Sounds like
Femi.
like a Hemi engine or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think
I don't want to reply
Oh,
in chat, but I do want to say, Icarus, you nailed it.
I thought he said femdom paradox. Okay, sorry. What are you guys talking about?
Okay, that sounds more interesting.
Somebody did a video
Tell us
the
more
other
about this, Simus. Tell us more about the femdom paradox.
Oh yeah, well, Big Bertha, BB, the Big Bang as we call it.
Hey, you're off to a big
There we
start.
go.
Epic start here. Carry on.
Oh, she was fun. What a weekend.
She might be too big for carry on though.
Oh well, she was too big for the whole band. I'm telling you.
So somebody tried to
I feel like
explain
Andrew.
Somebody tried to explain the other day what it would be. Okay, if an intelligent civilization or an intelligent species had about maybe, I don't know, 1 million years that it could last, or a couple 100,000, about 1 million years. And then you look at the 14 billion years out there, or like the 10 billion since life could have happened. And if they last that long, that's like looking for a needle in a haystack. And there are so many intelligent races that could have been close to us that, we missed them in time, and so it's very likely or very unlikely that we're going to run into anything close to us that can communicate with us because of this time slippage thing, because civilizations and species probably don't last that long, particularly intelligent ones, as we are showing ourselves in the last 20 and the next 50 years.
I don't know. I mean, I think this is pretty vanilla compared to like what human beings were doing, hundreds of thousands of years ago.
You mean like, okay, for instance, the anti-vax thing, that could have killed us if this had been a lethal virus.
Well, I mean, the issue is
just like
the biggest issue is people have learned how to somewhat become more public about how illiterate they are, and now they've leveraged that as a
how stupid they are. Yeah, they got a Trump card. It's called the Trump card. Be bold and be dumb.
Trump. How the hell Reagan became president, I don't know.
Is that a golden-plated card?
That's the second time you gave a reference, so now I have to say that my mind speed works like God. It works in mysterious ways. I've seen that you're slowly going bald, and the fact that you just said a needle in a haystack, I found that hilarious.
I didn't say needle.
But that's probably just
that is good.
It is.
Wait a minute, Peter. I'm slowly going bald. I've been bald since I was 30 years old. 40 fucking years. I'm just not slowly going bald.
Put some effort into it because you still have hair on the sides.
So needle in a haystack almost sounds like
no,
not getting a tattoo.
You want to see me
bald.
You ought to see me after Gur streams last night. I don't have any hair at all anymore. Bald as a Bezos. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all gone.
Poor thing.
I pulled it out.
You sure it didn't fall out because you were scared of the hippo? Or you don't want me to show the hippo?
The hippo.
I forgot.
I don't think I want to see the hippo, Peter. I don't think I want to see anything more from you tonight or this week. This entire week, I don't want to see a fucking thing from you, Peter. I'm done seeing shit from Peter.
Peter, you need a new church sign.
Yeah.
I need a new church sign.
Yeah.
Got any ideas?
This one's getting old.
It did the trick, though, today.
Oh, yeah.
Someone was in the side chat. I put up that sign, mere seconds, and he was gone. I'm not naming names.
I don't know why you guys are still picking on him. I really don't.
Who?
Because it's fun.
Tansel?
Watch Jay's. Hold on, Simus. Really, watch Jay Patrick's last stream.
Right.
He's called Mr. Whatever the fuck he's called
Leach.
now.
Mr. Leach.
Mr. Leach.
Bad choice.
Otangelo was there. Just watch it. It was
my old English teacher. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know why you want to.
I don't understand why Otangelo put that cartoon version of his argument up. That was him, right? That
I think that might be him recognizing.
That was
maybe,
him.
Maybe it's him recognizing that his argument is a joke.
Yeah, I think maybe he's finally coming around. I don't know.
Maybe it's a moment of
he
I doubt
he
it.
put that up. He put that up thinking that was a gotcha thing.
Yeah, guys,
with all of us.
You don't understand how many philosophers and reputable academics use exactly those arguments.
Well,
I'm not saying they're good. I'm not saying they're good. I'm just saying a lot of PhDs and
hold on. The thing,
students and theologians use those exact same arguments.
I think it's a pretty.
The thing was, Otangelo came in and literally stated, "But if you see a car, you know it's designed. But if you see a tree, you don't see that it's designed." That was the start of the conversation. For the most part, I sat back and I only thought I tried to help out because I thought Otangelo wasn't getting the question.
The whole
Jay had an idea where he was going. Just go watch the conversation. It was funny as hell.
The Behe, Stephen Meyer, all the irreducible complexity arguments that have been proposed are like by the vast majority of scientists in STEM areas.
That isn't what
it's not even a legitimate hypothesis. We don't even think about it because it's not even worth thinking about. They've already debunked it over and over and over again.
Well, yeah,
that wasn't what Otangelo was using. Otangelo was using the argument of design the question was how do you decide whether or not something was designed? And Jay put him on the spot and nailed it down, because Otangelo, as usual, was going from one thing to another, and Jay didn't let him. And that was the fun part of the conversation.
The thing is, right, this is ever since Aquinas brought that argument up, because he, if I recall right, he's the originator.
Aristotle probably.
And at the right time.
I think Aquinas was the one who, it was either Aquinas or Locke. He brought up the watchmaker argument.
Oh no, that's Bailey. Yeah, no, that's.
Oh yes, you're right. It was Bailey that brought it up.
But just another rehash of the similar argument that's been going on.
It's not even similar. It's the same thing. They're just replacing watch with cell and replacing cell with machine and all this other crap. I mean, it's not any different. And the counter to Bailey's argument is the same one we use today.
Leo Phileas.
Here's the thing. And you need to go watch Jay's stream. What Jay did when Otangelo said, well, we know a car is designed. And Jay went to, we know a car has a lot of parts. And so the wheels are designed by one guy, the steering wheel's designed by another guy. Then you got the engine that's designed by another bunch of guys. And then you got the metal that is shaped by a lot of guys. And so how many guys does God employ to make a tree? And Otangelo was stumped.
Yeah, but the design of the wheel evolved.
There's a way better objection to the argument, and that's that it doesn't matter what the physical properties of some object are. We don't infer design from the physical characteristics of something. We infer it from our prior knowledge. So we don't have prior knowledge of intelligences designing cells and things like that. So we can't really infer from anything that we know that an intelligence is capable of doing it, because number one, we've never been capable of doing it in a lab. The argument that people like fucking Quantum John and Otangelo always press is essentially, we've never seen intelligence do this thing, therefore intelligence must be necessary to do that same thing. It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
Well, yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. And the really weird thing about it too is, they ignore entirely how we come to understand that things are intelligently designed in the first place. This whole concept of teleology.
One thing Jay beat me to it is the fact that Otangelo will say, okay, this and this is designed, and he will always come up with something that isn't his most used argument is, I can design a factory. Yeah, you can. And how many people do you need to produce the materials needed to build the factory? And how many people do you need to build the factory? So if you want to compare that to God, how many people does God employ to make a tree?
I don't know whether that makes sense, but that's not Behe's argument, is it, at all?
But we were talking, at least I was talking about the fact that Otangelo had the conversation with Jay, and that's how we got to complexity and the meme that Speed is now showing.
Behe's argument
the specified complexity thing wasn't mentioned at all.
Right.
Yeah, Behe's argument is that certain things can't evolve, and the reason he says that is within his framework. He presupposes that the biological function that certain molecular machines have currently must have always been the way that those things functioned. He rejects out of hand that the biological activity of a molecular machine currently could have had a different function in the past.
Well, no, his argument is that the individual parts have no evolutionary biological purpose. Therefore, the whole thing must have evolved in one go.
His thing is that they must have been how they are, or else the thing can't have evolved.
Well, technically, both of you were correct. Technically, both of you were correct because that he propounded both arguments essentially together when he was on with Dr. Dan.
Well, and he's wrong both times.
Exactly.
He was wrong in 2006, and he's wrong still. I mean, he's just.
I've never found the Paley argument to be very persuasive, though. Dawkins.
No, the Bailey argument is a bad argument.
Dawkins managed to refute that, and if Dawkins can refute it, we're not talking super philosophical, right?
I mean, Bailey's argument isn't that hard to counter because all you have to do is begin the conversation of teleology, which is how do we know things to be the product, of design? Like, what process do we know that to occur under? And that's
because we know how things are designed and how things are made. That's how we infer design. And the thing is,
then that suffers the same consequence of the fine tuning argument. Specifically, it's just affirming the consequent. I went over this with Danny, who's got a bachelor's in philosophy and is pursuing a master's in philosophy last night. Because I'm pretty sure, I don't know.
That is an argument from authority.
But
it isn't.
No, it's not.
It is.
Anyway, no, it's not. Anyway,
sentenced to die, they would just
so what the what?
Somebody please mute whatever they're watching.
Yeah, I don't really care about people being sentenced to die. Anyway, yeah, because that's exactly the argument that Otangelo was propounding last night, and I straight up asked. I said it's essentially if X then Y, Y therefore X. That's an affirming the consequent argument.
Definitionally.
I have to head off. Take care, everybody.
All right, take care.
And you. Good to see you again.
See you later, Randolph.
And Leo, thank you for your comment the other day on the moderation I did on Godless Granny's channel. I appreciate that very much. That was very nice of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and the thing is too, like what Otangelo brings is a falsification. The thing is too, like what Otangelo brings or posits as a falsification criteria for his hypothesis is actually just shifting the burden of proof.
Mm-hmm.
Not surprising.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever actually made a sound argument, as far as I've heard.
None of them do, because they all rely on the same logical fallacies.
Yeah.
A lot of like modern Christian apologetics,
specifically
modern,
one in his case, but
a lot of creationist.
That's harder when you're a young Arthur.
Yeah.
Is he a young Arthur as well? I didn't
know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, young Earth is a pretty, speaking like in apologetics frameworks, young Earth creationism is relatively new.
So,
like
if he's a young Earther, why does he go on about the fine tuning of the Big Bang?
Because he doesn't want to say out loud that he's a young Earther, because I think he knows that he'll lose credibility when he does.
Actually, a good point by Simos, though.
No, it is, because notice how Otangelo will never debate anything that has to do with specifically the age of the Earth. He always says, I'm not an expert in that. I don't know. He always wants to focus on the same argument, and it's the whole biology. And I know Jason was there. I think Immutable was as well.
Yep,
when I pressed him, when I kept pressing him on, because he kept. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but he kept essentially saying, at least as I took it, that he knows as much as a professional does. And I asked him, I said, wait, hold on. So if I go get a graduate level test exam from MIT, and straight up, I can do it right now. I can go get one. They have them open courseware. I mean,
I know the answer to this.
And I asked him, I said, if I presented this to you, could you pass? Could you pass this? He dodged it like 4 times, and I kept repeating. Could you pass
Leo,
this?
I know the answer to this.
Peter,
and finally, he said no, and I was like, "There you go. You do not know as much as a graduate student does, or a PhD, because they could pass it."
Yeah, but I know the answer to this question. Jason probably will too. Otangelo has books.
Well, no,
don't-
it's not. It's not even that. Otangelo is Wikipedia.
No. Otangelo said that he knew as much as any specialist in the field because he had books. He said that on Jason's channel.
I just have to say quickly, I'm looking at Wikipedia right now, and I cannot see any mention of Gödel's incompleteness theory. Oh, hang on.
Oh, there we go. Well, it must be bad then. Must be a bad source.
Otangelo's come out flatly and has said things like, I get a paper, I read the very beginning, then I read the conclusion, and that's pretty much it. Like
then you haven't read a paper.
Yeah,
then you haven't read a paper.
That's right. I mean, he's kind of readily admitted lots of things, which if you told an actual like trained scientist these things, they would say that's like the antithesis of what you should be doing. And so for him to come out and say that he purports to understand these extremely complicated topics when he himself has admitted he doesn't actually read papers in their entirety. Like he doesn't.
He literally said that last night.
Jason, it is worse. I caught on his blog. There's a thing that obviously confirms that people came from clay, as the Bible says, and I followed the link, and the link is literally about a scientific paper that seems to confirm that abiogenesis is possible and could have been rooted in clay. Has nothing to do with God, but it had Bible in the title. Life could have come from clay. Was the Bible right? That's all he saw, and he put it in his blog as a link confirming.
So sweet.
The thing is, actually, Otangelo made a... Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay, by the way, Otangelo has been bringing this up over and over again, and he brought it up this morning, I think, on Jay's stream. But he keeps saying, we're looking at the same evidence.
No, the fuck we're not.
Well, we actually are. He is correct on
No,
that.
well,
Hold
no, he's-
on.
he's- no, he's not correct.
Pause. Look at those pork steaks.
Where are they at?
They're not real. It's
Leo,
a
they're
gift.
on your
It's a
phone.
gift with
You
a
can't-
very bad loop.
You can't eat them. They're on
Yes,
your
you can.
phone.
I already ate them. Anyway,
On
we
your
are looking at the same evidence. We're looking at the same technical
No.
literature. Jesus, can I fucking finish? We are looking at the same evidence. We're looking at the same technical literature. We're citing the same professionals for the most part. The problem isn't the evidence that we're looking at. It's the conclusions that we're reaching. And this is the thing that Otangelo fails to understand. He consistently keeps saying that I attack him because he's not a professional. I don't attack him for that at all. In fact, I think he has at least some understanding of these fields. But
That's
the problem
more than I
is that the conclusions that he's reaching are thoroughly rebuked by the actual professionals and the research that they've published. So obviously his conclusions don't have any merit, which is why I don't take him seriously, because he's not a professional and he hasn't presented anything that can contend with the empirical literature that we currently have within the field. So he is correct that we look at the same evidence. He's just come to an entirely wrong conclusion that isn't substantiated by any of the empirical literature or any of the expert consensus within the field. Simple as that.
He's worse than like a first-year graduate student or like a senior. He's worse than that because like he's makes these assumptions that he has knowledge, and at least those students are like, you know what, I have a lot to learn. I have a bare modicum of understanding. They know that they don't know certain things. He has a premise that he thinks that he actually knows those things, and what Leo, what you're saying is like he's looking at the same evidence. I don't think he is, because I don't think I think he's sheltered himself to say that he only wants to look at papers and that support his conclusions that he's already formed. So he's not going to want to look at other certain papers. Well, he doesn't want to look at those things.
That's
He's
looking at directly
evidence.
refute his conclusion.
He's
So we
not
are
looking
looking at the same
He
evidence.
is
He's
not
just
looking at the same
misinterpreting it.
evidence, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, but what about
when
the
you
like
learn
several
something,
papers
what-
that he's
God,
presented
can you
that
all
directly
please talk
refute
one at
his
a time?
position?
like Shostak. He
That
thinks
is one way to do
Shostak
that.
supports his positions.
Okay,
And he
he's
doesn't.
not looking. He's not looking at the same evidence because he reads something on the wiki, right? And he learns something about it. And when you learn something about it, you have to apply it in your mind in a rational way in order to visualize what exactly that evidence means and how it connects dots A to B, right? When Otangelo looks at dots A to B, he presumes that he doesn't know he presumes that they cannot connect. Therefore, he doesn't see the evidence in between. So saying he's looking at the same evidence is, I get your meaning on the surface, Leo, but
we're not talking about evidence. We're talking about
it's worse. Hold on, Leo. Hold on. It's worse because Otangelo will only look at the title of a paper. At best, he will look at the abstract. And that is it. That by definition means that he doesn't look at the same evidence that anyone else is looking at.
Well, it's the same papers we look at, isn't it?
It's the same papers, not
exactly.
the same evidence. If you skip 90% of it.
Once again, we're talking about how he interprets the evidence, not
how could he look at
Wait.
He skips 90% of it. That means it's by definition not the same evidence.
I mean, he's referring to the same papers and the same professionals. He's just misinterpreting what they're saying.
Example,
yes.
he is quoted like this Stephen Benner paper, like
yes,
and he's complete. And I'm not even a biologist, and he completely misunderstood that paper because Benner was making these statements about these paradoxes, and he's stating like what are the understandings of these paradoxes, and at the end he talks about like how the manners at which. You know what I'm talking about, immutable.
I read the paper, and I can summarize what it's doing. What it's doing essentially is it's taking a summary of like 30 to 40 some odd years of abiogenesis research. It's pointing out some of the synthetic flaws in it in terms of like the environment that we understand for prebiotic chemistry. And what he's essentially saying is, if you take this seriously, there's some flaws that are going to occur when we approach these. Like there's paradoxes that have to be addressed.
Yeah.
And essentially it's a paper that's calling to action to develop and try to improve or like invent new synthetic techniques that try to avoid these apparent problems that come up in terms of like synthetic research for origin of life.
But Otangelo is pointing to parts where he's referencing those paradoxes and implying that Benner is saying that. Benner's just pointing out what others have said about those paradoxes. And so when he tries to do that, when he said that, I went and quickly looked at the paper and I'm like, wait a second, this is a complete misunderstanding of this. And I think I even pointed it out to Otangelo on that stream, and he just went over his head. He didn't.
Well, the thing is too, though, that's a very easy misconception to draw about the paper. If you only read the part of the paper,
just the little piece,
yeah. If you're only talking about the part of the paper where it notes the paradox, and not the part of the paper where Benner is actually discussing how these potential issues might be resolved, and like where he's talking about the call to action for people to actually step up and deal with these issues that have been known about in abio research.
Yep.
And just to really fucking dig the knife in, his maths is appalling. Thank you.
What?
Sorry. He has very little understanding of maths as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, the thing is,
arithmetic maybe, but
you guys have no clue how tempting it was for me when he brought up the point about knowledge, how badly I wanted to ask him what a hydrogenation reaction is.
I find that a really silly claim, knowing that Otangelo grew up Catholic and you says his knowledge of math is. Never mind.
Well, I remember around this time last year, Otangelo admitted he didn't know what the fuck a vector was.
What?
Well, for instance,
no, he did. He straight up did.
So, I can ask Leo probably, and I can ask Jason. I know Jason hopefully knows the answer to this question. But if I hydrogenate CO2, what is that? Like, what am I producing from that reaction?
I have no fucking clue. I'm not a chemist. Dude. At least as an amateur, I'm a particle astrophysicist and a theoretical cosmologist. Don't ask me about biochemical. Don't ask me about biochemical reactions. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Just try and guess from the name of the reaction.
I don't know. Maybe something like
hydrogenase.
Hydrogenase.
I'll just say hydrogenase.
Well, the point of the reaction, and this is something that's taught to like first years, is hydrogen is part of the reaction, and what it does is it
hydrogenates.
Yes, it's hydrogenating chemical species to their most reduced form. So if I hydrogenate CO2, I'm getting water and methane as the result of that reaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all it is. That's all. That's all it is, and it's a very common example. But I mean,
all right. Now I got a
probably
question for you, Immutable.
Sure.
Spell hydrogenation.
HYDROGENATION.
No, EO. Wait.
No.
EN.
Oh, I think you got it right.
Okay, EN. Oh, okay, I got lost.
HYDROGENATION.
Hydrogenation.
Hydrogenation, right?
Hydrogenation. Hydrogenation.
Oh, that sounds like a really cool name for a channel.
No, it'd be hydrogenation.
Whatever.
But I mean, there's a simpler kind of reaction like that me and Ness were talking about earlier. What it's called redox chemistry, reduction and reaction.
What happened to you, Immutable? What just
I
happened?
don't know, but this person with
got
Chinese
raptured.
or some sort of Asian symbols in their name in the side chat should really learn something about.
What is it, Preceptor?
Should really learn
it's
something
a Chinese Darth
mechanics because they don't know what they're talking about.
Universe would be static. Yeah, the universe probably is in some respect, in some view, static. I don't know.
Probably not. The universe is almost is certainly dynamic. Definitely dynamic.
So
it's expanding.
Time?
It's expanding. The universe.
Yeah,
is
but
expanding.
what form of time is outside of space time?
There is nothing. I don't know what it means to say.
It would be another. It would be another dimension. Another dimensionality.
What do you mean when you say outside of space time? I don't know what that means.
Well, you have four-dimensional space-time, but
yes,
it's likely that is not the reality of what the cosmos is.
According to who?
Likely.
I would be interested to know. I would be interested to know who these people are because as far as I understand, well, see,
Leo,
I'm also a naturalist, so I believe the four-dimensional space-time block we exist in is all which exists.
Are you just going to overtalk me, Leo? Okay, Leo.
Genpak.
Sorry, I just had to say.
Genpak Chopra.
Oh, Mutable's back.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. Oh god, we're talking about Jen. Jesus fucking Christ.
Genpak Chopra. No. Speed is going off on a rant about how there's something more fun. He's going off on an idealistic rant. The fucker.
Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck did you say? Idealistic? Fuck you.
Well, speed could be called idealist in some ways.
What a fucking thing to say about me. Holy shit. Jesus fucking Christ.
Is that wrong, Speed?
I can think of some things to call you that would offend you, and holy fuck, Leo. Shut the fuck up.
Are you not an idealist, Speed? I'm very confused.
Yeah, you talking about things you could attack me on my philosophy? Go for it, bud. As long as you're not personally attacking me.
Jesus Christ, Leo. What the fuck?
Well, now Speed's Christian.
I didn't deserve that. Yeah.
He's borderline idealist. Is that any better?
Whoa. Okay, no, hold on. There's a.
Are you talking about Danny?
Oh, Jesus fucking.
No.
There's. Am I?
Hello.
Okay, so there's a comment that Ox made that is just not correct. Time is only a thing to man. It means nothing as far as the universe goes.
Yep.
So what the fuck is entropy? Why is there a history to the universe independent of our experience of it? That's the only question I have. Why is there a history to the universe independent of our experience of it? If time is something we invented, the history shouldn't be a thing. Why is there a history to the universe? Why does entropy happen? Why can we measure time if it's not a real thing? Why can it be directly affected by things inside of it if it's not a real thing? Why can we measure this, and why can we confirm that these are physical aspects of reality that happen independently of our experience of it if these things are dependent on us?
I think the best way you could go to defining time is kind of the way quantum gravity people are trying to define it, which is that time appears to kind of be just a relationship between how objects in space relate to other objects in space.
Well, that's what length, width, and height are. That doesn't mean they're not real.
Right, but are those things actually real, or are they just description of the things in space?
No, are you telling me that there being some distance between two objects in space-time isn't real just because that particular distance hasn't been abstracted and defined?
No, I'm not just saying that, but I'm saying like.
So time is real. I mean, there might not be somebody to abstract what it is from some experience of it, but the thing is still real. Just like space.
Yeah,
I mean, if we're going to deny that time is real, then we'd have to probably deny that space is real.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fine.
I mean, I got to be honest. It just baffles my mind that people don't accept that time is a real, like a physical, fundamental property of reality. It is. We know that it is, much like space. That it's a real thing. It's there.
I think part of the reason for that is like when you look at time and its role in like physical equations that describe physics. It appears just to be a descriptive phenomenon of things. It doesn't appear to be
the whole
something as
equation
fundamental
is a
as
descriptive
space
phenomenon.
Well,
the whole equation isn't like I can look at
fundamental immutable.
I can look at
Newton's
that's differential equations for basic motion. They're all they are descriptions. They're descriptions of how a system evolves with respect to time. If time wasn't a real thing, why do we have to measure systems against it? Why is it almost impossible to measure systems if we don't measure them against it?
It just seems, I don't know. It just seems like things in like that. It just seems like things like time are less fundamental than things like space.
Well, it being fundamental doesn't mean it's not real. I can admit that space-time probably aren't fundamental, but temperature isn't fundamental. It's still real. 100% temperature is a real thing. It exists in reality. We use it every single day. You can open your phone and there's probably a temperature of what it is outside right there listed when you unsleep your phone. Temperature is very much a real thing that exists because it's more an abstract description of some physical phenomena that we experience. Doesn't mean that physical phenomena isn't a part of physical reality.
Motherfucker, another beetle is on my ceiling. The same kind, the stink bug, leptoglossus.
Oh, the Asian beetles?
Asian beetles.
I don't know if they're Asian. No, leptoglossus occidentalis. It's a stink bug, invasive, and they come into your house in the winter in northern climates because the fuckers aren't from here. They're invasive. And they keep going up on the ceiling, and I don't know why. But I'm going to go put him in the freezer, too.
Are there lights on your ceiling?
Wait, hold on. Speed, quick question. Do you just take bugs alive and stick them in your freezer and let them die?
Yes.
You cruel, cruel man.
I know. I lose sleep over this.
Cruel old bastard.
I lose sleep over this. I hate to do it, but I do it for science, though. I have to do it.
Do it for the science!
I'm doing it for science. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he gets pleasure from that.
Okay, if there was a baby crawling on my ceiling, to be fair, I would put that little sucker in the freezer too. So.
Oh shit! Speed, look who's in your chat. Okay. I shouldn't probably have said that word there, but look who's in your side chat.
Who's that?
Going full Dahmer.
Look up.
Gur?
No, above that.
Ox.
Above that.
Daniel Nicholson. Hi, Dr. Daniel Nicholson. Wow. So we haven't streamed our discussion yet. I'm going to do it tomorrow, but I was kind of waiting for you to get back to me on what time we could do it, what time would work for you. So I think I can pretty much. I've just got to edit it a little bit, and we can throw it out there. But let me know when. So.
Yeah, and I think we all enjoyed reading his paper on "Is the Cell a Machine," and look forward to reading more interesting stuff on the philosophy of biology.
Being the Right Size was the other one that we read. So. Yep. Oh, anyway.
Hang on a minute. I just got to read a comment here because it's just got me. So a bear looks at a thermometer to know when to hibernate?
Well, it must. Otherwise, how would it know when to hibernate?
I wouldn't know what temperature is it.
I know.
What the fuck?
Come on, man. It's simple.
Yeah, no, I'm only getting something slightly out of it.
Dr. Nicholson came in just as I was claiming that I would take a baby off my ceiling and freeze it. That's unfortunate.
The philosophers are helping you rescue. The philosophers are helping you regaining your sanity, Speed. Isn't that a?
Yeah.
Which philosophers?
Well,
The
Nicholson
dirty continental philosophers, or the awesome, super cool analytic philosophers?
That's a
I
double
don't see-
Oh God!
I'm looking at the panel and
What
I
do
don't
you
see any
mean? Oh God!
philosophers here.
Okay, immutable.
Please
What the
don't get me
fuck-
started on
what
continental
the
philosophy.
fuck?
Please don't
What
get
the
me started
fuck
on
does God
continental
have to do with
philosophy.
Continental
please.
philosophy is kind of trash.
In a nutshell,
Thank you. I agree. I agree.
in a nutshell, immutable. What is continental philosophy? In a nutshell,
It's trash.
It's fucking trash.
Nutshell.
I'm sorry. It's pretty trash.
Holy shit! I'm looking at one of these stink bugs on Google, and it has little round black spheres all over it.
Maybe
Right,
I'm just
I'm
an
gonna get more
uncultured
food.
swine on continental philosophy, but to me, I don't get much from it.
I can't. I can't even. I literally can't even.
So, Speed, what continental philosophers have you read that are inspiring or
I have no
worthy
idea.
of consideration? Oh, okay.
I have no-
Okay.
Continental philosophy. What does it mean in a nutshell, basically?
Well, why don't you pull up the wiki on it? Have some fun
do
with
that.
that.
Yeah, and try to figure out what the fuck they're actually talking about.
Oh, even Nicholson's laughing at that because he knows.
Yeah. German
So?
idealism, phenomenology, existentialism. Oh, yeah, that crap. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, so my reaction wasn't overly too verbose for you.
Well, you could explain it a little bit. So what does it mean? What does it mean? How would you explain? Okay, like analytic philosophy lacks clear definition. That's the problem. And may mark merely a family resemblance across disparate philosophical views. So what the fuck does it mean to say continental philosophy if that's the best we can say about it? That it lacks that it has a mere family resemblance. What are they talking about?
What are you looking at to define continental philosophy?
Wikipedia page, like you asked, like you requested.
That's what it's giving you for continental philosophy?
That's what it gives me. Doesn't give me a clear idea of what the hell it's all about.
Let's see.
And
God,
that's
you're
the
gonna make me look it
problem.
up.
That's the problem I have with about 6,000 with many of these sweeping statements about a bunch of philosophers. Every one of them has a different spiel.
Continental philosophy is a set of
course they
19th and 20th century philosophical traditions from mainland Europe. The sense of the term originated from English-speaking philosophers in the second half of the 20th century, used to refer to a range of thinkers and traditions outside the analytic movement.
A range. So a range of thinkers. Oh, that's pretty descriptive. John Stuart Mills.
Yep.
Kantian influenced thought of continental philosophy, continental philosophers, the English empiricism of Bentham. Let's see. Figures such as, notion gained prominence in the early 20th century as figures such as Bertrand Russell and G. Moore advanced a vision of philosophy closely aligned with natural science, which we kind of agree with, right? Progressing through logical analysis. So they were they the group that denied metaphysics? And
they don't deny it, but they rely on empiricism, one would think.
Metaphysics, let's see.
Simos, why don't you give us
metaphysical agnosticism?
Simos, why don't you give us a crash course on what continental philosophy is compared to analytic?
I couldn't do that, but I know it's something to do with the Kant and the distinction he made between analytic and synthetic a priori knowledge.
So yeah, I am aware of the analytic synthetic tradition, but I didn't know that's where it started.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know because I don't. I would never claim to be a philosopher.
Yeah, I mean it's a real broad classification, and I don't have a whole lot of patience with some of these things. Yeah, here's the key part. The term lacks a clear definition. So So anyway, to say it's trash, you'd have to. You're saying Bertrand Russell is trash? Well, he had some weird ideas, but
it's just the way people like in continental philosophy, the tradition under they argue under is a little weird compared to historical and analytic philosophy.
I think they're more into metaphysics than empiricism. So.
Yeah, and as much as
I mean, I don't think metaphysics isn't something that should be like gatekept away from talks, but I think empiricism is going to be something that guides metaphysics rather than vice versa.
Oh no! Well, it's a way of finding truth, I think, or knowledge, whichever you.
Metaphysics.
Yeah, that would be my understanding of continental philosophy. Is that they think the best way to knowledge is through metaphysics rather than through.
I have a very different view of metaphysics than a lot of people that talk about metaphysics. Mine is mathematical and
there you go.
And having to do with mathematical models that you can do on with computer programs. Like you try to define what space-time would be, or what matter in space-time would be, and you basically drill down from there, and you start asking yourself questions about what is a distance between two different squares in your space-time Cartesian coordinate system, right? And ask yourself, what would a system be like if there was no distance? What if it was somehow like where things were in relation to each other were basically properties of each particle in relation, right? And you do away with the idea of a Cartesian coordinate four-dimensional space-time, right? And start thinking in different terms.
You don't use that in special or general relativity anyway.
You don't. Yeah, I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about metaphysics. And you start asking yourself, what would it be for two things to be able to occupy the same space or not occupy the same space? And just stuff like that. And you can play with it with computer programs mathematically, and you can come up with some really kind of neat things. I call that metaphysics. Trying to understand the nature of what we have.
Originally, I believe the term comes from after Aristotle's death, his books were divided up into his natural physics, which was natural philosophy, and then all of the stuff that was left over that wasn't to do with reality was then bundled into another book, which they called metaphysics. So it just means after physics, basically. And I think that's the etymology of it.
Yeah, and it's almost like you can think of metaphysics as really deep, theoretical physics. What is behind all of this physics? What?
It's the physics of physics. Like metaphilosophy is the philosophy of philosophy. Metaethics is the ethics of ethics.
Now, typically, people think of metaphysics as being some sort of just so story about how everything happened, like God made it, right? And when you look at that, there are an infinite number of hypothetical systems that we could come up with, an infinite number of hypothetical stories about what made things exist. And that is the metaphysics that I, along with probably continental philosophers, would say bullshit. Bullshit.
I beg your pardon? Yeah, I don't know. I think the terms are very loose. I mean, that's one of the issues, isn't it? It's because it's changed over the years.
Yeah.
It's become more and more defined depending on which part of philosophy you're in,
I don't know. I think metaphysics and philosophy is pretty well defined.
Okay.
So logical investigations by
I think a lot of
Husserl.
other people colloquially use it to mean a bunch of different things, but I think largely in philosophy, I think metaphysics is a pretty solid definition, personally.
Well, look at the mentioned works of continental philosophy, right? We've got I don't know, Foucault. We got Hegel. We've got Maurice Merleau-Ponty. We've got
heard of these guys. Never read a goddamn thing they wrote.
Derrida's kind of an asshat. But
Sartre, of course, is a big name in continental philosophy.
Sartre,
yeah, but I mean, this guy, Maurice Merleau-Ponty, was fucking brilliant, and and he did a lot of brilliant work on consciousness or philosophy of the mind. Then we have logical investigations by Husserl. I mean, these guys did a lot of work. Heidegger.
I was being. I hope people could pick up on it, but I was being obviously hyperbolic. There's been a lot of people in continental philosophy that have contributed majorly to the field of
Jacques
whose
Derrida.
work you should take. Who's Jacques? You mean
Jacques Derrida?
Jacques?
Yeah, he's kind of an asshat. I don't know. As far,
really?
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, some of the shit he came up with was. I don't know a lot about him, but what I have heard is kind of fucking bullshit.
Okay, I would agree with this. Sorry, Leo, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say quickly, the closest I've come to continental philosophy personally is Karl Marx.
Real? Okay. Well, that's an interesting place to start.
Okay.
Why? It's Karl Marx. Who the fuck hasn't read Karl Marx? Okay, hold on. Let me amend that statement. Who, other than dumbass American conservatives, hasn't read Karl Marx?
I have not read Karl Marx. I have found no reason to do it.
Immutable. When did you become a Trumpist, man? Why were you at the
I
January
didn't become a
6th
Trumpist.
insurrection?
I just don't.
Fuck. You unconstitutional.
Why
do you advocate for keeping Confederate
There's a good reason I avoid economics and politics.
Yeah, why? Because you don't know it? You don't understand it? Is that why?
No, I
think that's why. I think that's why.
No, there's other things on my to-do list before I get into internet wars with Twitter people.
Well, who said anything about internet wars with Twitter people? I'm not in internet wars with Twitter people.
Hey, boys and girls.
Okay, let me just say one thing quickly, which is metaphysics, the abstract theory with no basis in reality.
Yeah,
I don't know about
there
that.
you
I
go.
mean, metaphysics.
LPP's having an open mind.
I am not showing up. Fuck that.
Yes, it started streaming 43 minutes ago. Dude, Richard Madsen's in there right now.
Nope, not dealing with them.
I'm almost tempted to join just for the fun of it. I don't know.
You find that fun? I don't know. Okay.
Sometimes, yeah. Shit.
You must be stoned.
Who said it? Wait, what?
You must be stoned.
What a little troll you are, Leo.
We're the little troll. I'm not a little troll.
You're a little troll.
You little fuck. You little dirty little crusty fuck.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Don't give me. Oh, Simus, I can't even say it, man. It's too bad. I can't say it.
No, of course you can. Go on.
Nope. I can't.
Let's have a laugh. Come on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, you shouldn't be chiming in, you snaggletooth Brit bonger.
Oh, okay, guys.
Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, there we go.
It's
Gloves
okay.
are coming off.
It's okay. It's Leo. It's no problem.
He's special.
Well,
we know.
It's not entirely true in his instance, anyway. So.
Hey,
I'm not. I don't. Well, I do drugs, but not that.
Hello. This is Speed of Sound from Answers in Atheism. I want to have a word in here. Now I can leave you all live and let you talk, and I can get the fuck out of here for a while, or we could shoot it in the head. What do you want to do?
What do we want to talk about?
Well, who's getting shot in the head first?
Yeah,
I'm going to shoot myself in the head first, and I'm like, I just want to leave. I don't care if you guys want to stick around and keep this live. You can if you want. I just ask that Leo fucking behave.
No, shoot it in the head.
Well, that's a lot to ask for. Okay.
Shoot it in the head, and we'll
that might be
shoot
too
it in the
much.
head. Shoot it in the head, and then.
Okay, we got one vote for shoot it in the head. We got one.
I second that notion.
Then we can leave it
Second
on
that
Leo's
notion.
bigotry.
Oh, okay, cool. We can talk about bigotry after we go. I'm live. Okay, boys and girls.
I don't mind being bigots towards certain people.
Well,
okay, we are shooting it. We are shooting it in the head.
My future wife is British. What the fuck makes you think I'm racist?
What do you mean your future wife? Are you engaged?
Yeah, my future.
God,
my future
stop
wife.
Stop harping on Sand Amelia Clark.
Who said?
Let's just fucking fix this problem here. Okay, we're shooting it in the head now, boys and girls, and then we can talk backstage. Oh, I love it when I talk and nobody else fucking overtalks me. It's really cool. Okay.
There we go.